Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, welcome back to the Dirty Knobs podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda, and my co-hosts are, as always, JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter. On this episode, we have our good buddy, Dave Cullinan. That's right, Cully. And it is a blast. We have a couple of special guests drop in, a bunch of outtakes at the end, and some great new commercials. So make sure you stick around and listen to all of them. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, like, all that business. And one more thing, make sure you mark your calendars. April 28th through the 30th, the Dirty Fest, Southern California's premier BMX extravaganza. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Oh,
there you go. Dude, the beard's coming in, man.
I know. You see that?
I see that. You're letting it grow.
I keep forgetting.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not a purpose thing. It just around this time of year, man, I start getting busy, and then next thing you know, I got a beard.
Yeah, because you know what? This
just like
takes
that
so long. Right there. That's all I got. I can't do it.
It does.
Oh, I am out.
Well, some guys go like this.
Exactly. John Salami. With the scratch and sniff. With the scratch and sniff shaving routine.
I run a hybrid. I try to do some long ones, but I get, there's peaks and valleys. I gotta weasel in there, and
oh man,
I can't do the long.
Do I need to come over and teach your boys how to shave?
Yeah, dude, those guys got moles and stuff.
No,
they're electric.
No, they got the electric.
They're electric.
They got the obstacle course you have to go through.
They're electric. Yeah, they're electric for life.
Oh man.
Yeah. And dude, they didn't have one. I finally told the wife for Christmas, I'm like, hey, we probably should get them some electric razors, man. They were
no. Either that or they got the toilet paper stuck on the face.
Oh man.
It was like the random whiskers that hasn't grown in them. A couple of shaves.
Yeah, like the Chinese mole whiskers.
There was a couple. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are.
They had randoms.
They get those. Every time I go to China, I see those people with the hair growing out of the moles, and they let them grow like sea serpents coming out of it. I was like, oof.
Dude, you know what I get? I don't know if you guys can see these.
Boogers? Yeah, I see them.
No, I get.
What, runaway eyebrows?
Yeah, dude. I call them the wise men's.
Just cut that thing.
Oh, those are wisdom hairs.
Sometimes but you know what's crazy about them? You don't even notice that they're long because mine are they go in.
Right.
So you have to go against the grain and realize how long they are.
Oh, they're down with they're down with the frown.
Yeah. Oh man. Some crazy shit right there, boys.
Oh, well.
Dude, speaking of crazy shit.
How about this?
Dude, the crazy thing is I didn't know if I was even going to be able to do this today because they were racing out of Vail and they got enduro stuff and we're still trying to catch up from all the rain ruts. And then when I gave you guys the answer just yesterday, in the afternoon, like, hey man, I can do it. And then bing, I see the post, Cully cast. I was like, oh shit.
At the ready.
Yep.
The best part goes, he goes, oh, I didn't know it was an audio. I didn't know it was video. I thought it was just audio. I was like, Cully, don't you watch it? He goes, no, I only listen to them. I listen to all the podcasts.
No
I was
way.
like, well, you better hurry up and take a shower.
Well, he's doing a lot more than I do. He listens to him.
Listen to him. Oh no, I don't want you to change a thing. All right, let's bring this young man in.
Did you know that there are some people that think that the picture is somebody else?
Yeah, they think it's Daryl Young.
Daryl Young, yeah.
Hey, I did. I mean, not now, I didn't, but like as recent as maybe 5 years ago, I saw it posted somewhere and they said it was Cully. I was like, no, it's not Cully. I thought it was Daryl Young. And then I dug into it and I was like, oh my gosh, it is Cully. I mean, he was skilled. I mean, obviously, clearly he was skilled enough to do that, but I always thought it was Daryl Young.
Just once again, someone underrating Dave Cullinan.
Yeah, right.
Even his good friend.
Speaking of underrated, I gotta go piss.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, go.
Do you want me to go in the middle?
No,
go.
I took the last bite of my hamburgers that I just grilled 2 minutes ago.
No. Go do it.
You guys are killing me.
No, go. Take your time.
Riveting content. You think I'll have to edit any of this out?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Dude, we're getting close to your tattoo number.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna get people. People are chiming in now.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're chiming in.
Where are we at?
Man, Cully on the show tonight.
Let's bring the
dude.
What?
I go way back with Cully, bro.
Well, we're about to find out.
Well, let's find out. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Deep. Look at this. Look at this.
Let's see what he's rolling in with. If he's got those Oakley glasses that go over the top of the head with the little circles, I'm just gonna disconnect him.
He's gonna be totally dialed. There's gonna be some chrome shit. It's gonna be all polished up. It's gonna be everything's gonna be perfect. You watch.
Fireworks go off behind him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Very serious. He's very serious.
Look at him, dude. Yes. Look at him, dude. He's got the mountains in the background.
It's Idlewild.
It is, isn't it? Look at that.
I could change it.
No, Cully, don't change it. Okay, change it. Oh yeah.
There we go. Change it, Cully. Let's see it.
Now what is he got?
Backdrops, Cully. I want to see him.
Yeah, he's got a blurred. Is that the blurred pawn shop or what is that?
It's there's no blur. Where's
That's at Duff's house.
It's at yeah, it's just guitars.
It's hanging out of Duff's.
Yeah, we're just down fucking Ritz Studio.
That's right. We got done.
Taking a break.
Yeah, Cully.
Hey, I'm just letting you know right now. The only reason why I'm doing this is fucking because Eric won't call me.
Hey,
so I can call him a
what do you got in your hand there? What is that?
LaCroix.
Dude.
Dry January.
You guys.
Look at that shit, brother.
Show him, JV.
No, I'm not drying January. I'm having
He's
having a little wine right now.
Oh,
perfect.
On the Tacades.
Yeah, we're on Modelo taste on Tecate budget.
Dude, if you guys, JV, I know you've had tacos with Hollywood. Cully, I know you've had tacos with Hollywood, but I don't know if you've ever like experienced the Hollywood. Can I order you guys some drinks? Order.
No.
Dude, he orders a shot of tequila and 2 beers.
And rapid fire.
And always the waiter or waitress starts to walk away and he goes, no, that's for me.
Not take their order.
That's like Wolves of Wall Street, where he's like, okay, we're gonna make this round, and then every 30 minutes,
that's right,
bring us 2 more.
That's right.
Keep drinking till one of us passes out.
And he shows up, and the waiter or waitress will show up, and he cracks the first one, takes the whole thing down, boom, shot of tequila. Okay, now we can get started.
That's what we should have done. That's why we got to do this in the studio.
You gotta prime the pump.
That's right.
Yeah.
Prime the pump. Yeah, Cully.
Cully, what's up, bro?
Fuck you.
What?
You'd answered one of my 20 phone calls over the last year while my life was falling apart, you'd know, but let's pretend like we're friends.
Oh, harsh.
I'm
Cully.
Let's pretend like we didn't grow up together. The only person that my mother said she loved was Eric. She did love Michael. Actually,
See?
to the people on this podcast, my mother has said the words she loved them.
Yeah.
That's big.
Didn't know you yet.
Doors was
Let me-
all time, bro.
All
Oh, yes.
time.
It's
All time.
Best tamales ever.
Yeah.
Best, dude, top of my list was best tamales ever.
Yeah, dude.
Only
Man.
person that you could hear over Linda Dorsey at Louisville. And she was on the front straight away.
Dude, I didn't know that your name was Dave.
Yeah. David Andrew.
I thought your name was Pedal David.
Yeah. Pedal David Andrew. You thought my
I
last name was
thought
Andrew.
all I ever heard was Pedal David.
I would know. I would hear Andrew, and that means that somebody was really close.
Oh man.
Dude,
Hey,
That if I was 3 taking 4, I heard Andrew.
oh man. I was gonna save this towards the end, but I gotta let it run right now. One of the highlights, JV, you know, we've talked about it before that EC and I have been doing this mountain bike event that we do all these years.
Oh yeah.
Well, one year, we left camp, the 3 of us. Cully was there. We left camp. We left everybody there at the campground, and we drove across town, around the lake, to Mrs. Cullinan's house to spend the evening with her. And dude, that was awesome. It was great.
It made my mother's year.
Yeah. I'm glad
Like I
we
said,
did.
my mom has said she loved 2 people, and they're happened. I mean, she had a huge fondness for both of you guys. So it's great to be on the call or whatever this thing is.
and I ruined her TV.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And her couch. Don't forget about egging my sister.
What?
What?
Yeah. Eric has personally cost my mom about $5,000, and she still loved him. Like the love part came after that.
What happened
What
there?
happened?
So Eric and I used to torture my sister, and Eric was like, "Hey, let's go smash an egg over your sister's head." And she was watching movies on the couch, and of course I thought that was a great idea. And so we snuck up on her, and he smashed an egg on the top of her head. Well, egg yolk, brand new, top of the line leather couch that my dad just bought, and that yolk just went into the fabric and it never came out. And then that was probably before the TV, Eric, I think.
Yeah.
And then this is back in the frickin' 50s when we had this TV, and it was like the first big flat screen TV. And nobody had flat screen TVs, and my dad popped for this thing, and it had this like textured screen. And Eric one time had, and I guess luckily for him, he's got fingernails, and
It had
he's
ridges
like-
on it. It had ridges on it.
Yeah, and Eric's like, "Check this out, DJ Eric," and he's like, takes his fingernails and
Oh.
starts scratching on the screen like, chicka, 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 chicka. Well, that apparently, when you shut the TV off, the scratches were permanent. Woo! I don't think Eric was allowed on 235th Street for a while.
Oh man.
Dave's dad was not happy with me.
No,
I was gonna say
Eric
Dave's
was-
mom
Eric
loved
was-
you, but I don't think Dave's dad did.
No, Dick Cullinan did not, and I think he paid Eric back a few years after that with the desert incident.
Oh, dude. Yeah. We were riding motorcycles out at David moved out to Ridgecrest.
Yeah.
So
My dad wanted so far away from Eric, he moved me to the desert.
so we go up to visit. I was up visiting Dave. Me and Dave go we go out riding dirt bikes. I borrow one of his 125s. This is before I started racing or riding dirt. I didn't know how to ride dirt bikes. And
It's
Cully,
like high school.
yeah, and Cully is good on motorcycles. He can haul ass on motorcycles. So he's on this. I think you were on a 500.
Yeah.
And I was on your KX
125. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm following Cully through the desert. That's all good. I can trail ride. And then we get to some of these jumps, and I hit this little tiny, it's like short takeoff,
Like a step up.
but kind of far. But
Yeah.
it's a real sharp transition. I don't know how to preload the motorcycle. I'm gassing it, and then I let off the throttle, and I'm going to pull up like I'm on my BMX bike.
He's gonna speed jump it.
Yeah.
I got bucked so hard, landed directly on my head, cartwheel. I'm laying there, and Dave rides up. He's like, "You all right?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I said, "I need some water." And dude, he starts laughing at me hysterically. He goes, "Do you know how many people have died in this exact spot in the desert wanting water?" No water, bro. And then he says, "You better pick up that motorcycle before it floods, or you're walking home."
Oh man. Hey,
And then my dad.
When we started going home, we ended up running out of gas. So Dave actually went and got some gas, brought it back. We ended up making it home, dude. And Dick, you got to understand, Dick is he's a hard dude, right? Dave's dad was a hard dude.
Navy SEAL, drove tractors, and
Salt
not
of
a
the
big
earth
hugger.
guy. Yeah,
not a big hugger.
salt of the earth guy.
Eric has a concussion, and I mean literally. The funniest thing was, I remember, Eric, your helmet, you had scratched off like 5 sponsors worth of paint.
Correct.
Like there was like an early Hutch, and then there was a free agent, and then there was another back to Hutch. Like you had like 4 or 5 different sponsors, and the paint, Mike, was like an 1/8 of an inch thick through all these, and he was down to the shell. And my dad goes, "Oh, you little pussy." He goes, "You fell off a real bike for once, huh?" And Eric's like, again, like still, and I think if I'm mistaken, you ended up like cracking ribs. Like
I
you
did.
put a kidney belt on the next day and said, "I'm not gonna not ride, so I am not gonna get called out."
Exactly.
Oh, so
I didn't
good.
want Dick to think I was a pussy. So
Yep.
I took my kidney belt and hiked it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Dude.
And you had like he gets back after 2 weeks, he still can't breathe, and he goes to the hospital. I remember my mom talking with Eric's mom, going, "Eric cracked 4 ribs when he crashed." And I was like, I don't doubt it, but he manned up. That's what you do when we're kids. Now I get a haircut and I can't ride.
Hey, you two have been friends forever and ever. How did that come about? How did you meet? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember.
Dave always tells this story, and
It's so true.
And I don't remember this story, and it is not like me, but I'll let him tell it.
Okay, so
okay.
So I raced at this local track, Harbor City BMX, and I was pretty good at this track.
Oh, time out. Harbor City BMX JV had the same first straightaway length as Braddock.
Oh, really short.
Yes, it was tiny track. And the whole thing was packed into like 2 parking lot spaces. Tiny track.
Under a freeway.
It was under a freeway.
San Pedro.
In one of the roughest parts of Los Angeles.
And it was like I had just started racing, and I had like the biggest cornball outfit, like my bike shop jersey, and I had these like camouflage pants, and I looked like the sale aisle at Walmart, and I ended up winning the main. And Eric came up to me and he's like, "You did good here, but let's see how you do at the nationals." And I was like, "Wow, okay, that kid was mean." And
Wow.
He ends up becoming my best friend. And that's happened.
Aggressive,
ironically
EC.
It's happened twice. And it's happened with Eric, and Eric, it happened with Jimmy Kite.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So it's a good omen that somebody says that, because they came out to be 2 of my best friends that
awesome.
I've grown up with.
And
Jimmy Kite said the same thing in high school to me.
And I have no recollection of that. I remember Dave.
And it doesn't sound like you, EC.
No, I know.
It was something to where it was again, caught me, like, I'm new to the sport, and I remember he was on VDC, and I just, after that, I was just like, I not say I looked up to him, but I looked up to him. I'm like, I want to be friends with that guy.
You were fast at Harbor, dude. You were,
And,
I mean,
but
you
I
were
couldn't
fast
get the
everywhere.
gate start.
You were fast everywhere, but you were real fast at Harbor and Ascot, dude. You had those places wired.
EC, did you hear it? He went right back to it. Yeah, you were fast at Harbor.
Yeah.
Went right back to it, man. I think it proves he's guilty.
Are you denying that you said that, EC?
No, I'm not denying
Oh,
it. I swear I have no recollection of it at all. None.
I
Zero.
remember, I hate to say it, but like, again, there's moments where you have like, I vividly remember like the lighting, the track. I mean, I could draw that track on a piece of paper tonight within pretty decent.
Crazy, man.
I know the snack bar, Paul Giacalone in there, his dad running the shop.
Exactly.
Janelle Henry teaching me starts because I sucked.
That was a good time, dude. Those are fun, man. Like those local nights, you know, it was before both of us were actually. I wasn't fast at nationals really either. I didn't get fast at nationals till I was 14 or 15.
Yeah.
But man, those local nights at Harbor and Ascot, and then Ascot especially. I mean, Harbor was pretty awesome, but Ascot, I can remember.
Slick track.
Dude, our parents, it would be like Doris, my mom, Arlano's, Tori Pavlovski's, and dude, the parents would they would just sit there and smoke cigarettes in the lounge area, and they would just feed us money for the arcade and they had a go-kart track with slick track.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't it fantastic?
It was the best. Like seriously, dude. Like,
you know, guys, I as a parent, I struggle with how good we had it. Like,
I hear you.
Nowadays, like I'm trying to explain to my daughter that's freaked out because she doesn't have her phone with her. And I'm like, Davin, you know, my mom took me to LAX, dropped me off at 15 and sent me to France with people that I didn't speak English. And like, okay, here's $500 in traveler's checks, figure it out. And like, I had a phone number that I didn't know what it was. Like, just seeing another country, I was gone for like 6 weeks.
Yep.
And like the
traveling
parents, would put us on an airplane and we would go travel NBL like summer tour. And your mom's like, okay, I'll see you in 2 months.
Yeah, I know, man. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It is weird, right? Like, not weird, but it's different. And I struggle with it too, Dave. I struggle with like, not so much that aspect of it, but I realize how lucky we were and how grateful I am.
I feel guilty.
I do too, because I try to figure out how I can get my kids to have the same experiences that we had, the way we had it, because
it won't be. You can't do it. It's not going to be the same.
No, but traveling versus, like, I think because of what we got to do, because we followed a national circuit and we went and did races and stuff like that, I think we were more cultured for it. We got to
absolutely
right. And so, I mean, you know, I'm constantly thinking about it, going, gosh, man, how can I get my kids to get a slice of that? So
it's a daily parental challenge.
I know.
Before you even traveled to nationals, though,
yeah,
you two were very lucky in that you were talented enough to do exactly what you're doing. You raced BMX all around the state.
Right.
First all around Southern California.
Van
so
life,
you were going from one race to the next race, and you two raced each other all the time.
Yep.
From very early age on, and you were friends, and you competed against each other, and you did not live in the same town, but you were that close to friends. I mean, that's rare.
Yeah.
That is rare.
Dude, summertime, I lived at Eric's house. Once especially when he moved to Norco, like the track in his backyard. Oh my God. It's another thing I could draw vivid. Like, I lived at Eric's house. Like, there was times I stayed at Eric's house and Eric wasn't there, Mike. Like, I stayed on the couch and Mama Carter's like, okay, you're out here again this weekend. I'm like, yeah. I just
the door. That's how. I mean, that door was always open. And even though Dick always, even though Dick and I butted heads a little bit, I always felt the same way at your guys' house as well, man.
Always.
I mean, it was tons and tons. Dude, we would have to do 3 or 4 podcasts to go through all the stuff that we got to do together.
Just BMX.
And
just BMX.
Yeah, and I will exactly. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you have an incident, Dave, but I can't remember a single time where you and I wrecked each other or dirty rode each other. I can't think of a time that we did that.
I can tell you the times you kicked beat me down the last straight, and it's like his arm long as my arm. 2 world championships just to start the top of the list. Eric Carter was the absolute worst person for me to race. Again, 2 world championships. I'm winning I could see the finish line, and all of a sudden a wheel. And then the other race, I crash and I get up and I'm sprinting to the line and a wheel. It's like through my entire career, he beat me. Last ABA Grands, winning, I looked left, he passed me on the right. Like, it's just, but we never, ever had an incident.
Well, listen, you two have a long history together. And
losing to Eric, yes.
Yeah, but not everybody knows how it started. Cully, I want to tell you that the first time I saw you ride, I didn't notice how fast you were. I noticed how well you rode and how much style you had.
Yeah.
God, you really handled your bike well. And I don't know why or how, but that's what I noticed. How did you two, I mean, where did it all start, Cully?
Harbor.
I got that, but
I started riding bikes. I started riding bikes 13, late, not like with you guys early. And I always joke that I got involved because some neighborhood kid called me out in some bicycle rodeo, this like state run bicycling programs, and challenged me to the bicycle rodeo, which I did and ended up winning. And then he challenged me to go to Ascot to race some BMX. And I'm like, okay. And again, I didn't have a bike, so I borrowed one from my neighbor and went down to the track and beat this kid at my local track. And I was like, huh. And then this tiny bike shop opened by my house in Torrance called R&P Cycles. And I went down there and befriended those guys and said, I want to race. And they ended up giving me a bike, $200 bike. Yeah, and that's what I showed up at Harbor City on. And I had my old motocross pants on that were way too small and this jersey, and talked my mom into getting me some pants from some other, like I said, I'm glad those photos don't exist, because I always thought I had style, but not in those days. And then I gravitated, to a point where I was, winning races within like a month. But that incident with Eric, I instantly gravitated towards Eric. And we would go to, like, if there was a race at Alpine Village or wherever we would go, the first person I'd go find is Eric.
Yeah, we just hung out.
Yeah,
we just hung out at the races.
Yeah, and we would race, and he would help me, and but we were just like instant brothers.
Yeah,
man, it's awesome.
And then we would go to Gold Cup qualifiers or this other cup thing or a NBL thing up in Northern California, and we get on the old telephone, the old rotary phones, and hey, Eric, when are you guys leaving? Okay, we're leaving at this time. Hey, Mom, can we follow Mama Carter out? And we'd meet on the freeways and van life up.
It was just it was there was no it was just we just rode at the same local track, and we were in the same class, and we were just really good friends that way. And Pav, when Pav started, because Pav didn't race for a while. Pav started actually before both of us, and then he quit for a while, and then he started back. And there was the 3 of us and Jeff
Donnell's.
Yeah, so it was like that was like our little pack was Dave, Jeff, myself, and Glenn. Like, dude, that was like a
brotherhood.
It was a brotherhood.
When I remember you, it was always you 3. It was, and in my mind, it was Dave, EC, and Pav, all trying to beat one other guy.
Yeah, well, usually Hayden.
Oh, and later on, and it was Hayden first, and then later on, Mike King.
Yeah.
Oh, King. King was a little bit older than us. I'm in between Eric and Mikey. But I mean, like when I think of the career and just BMX side of things, I mean, Hayden was always in the mix. I mean, Veltman later on, but it was throughout racing. There was always.
What'd you say about Mikey again?
Now, what about Mike King?
There's a
What were
guy
you saying,
we
Cully,
always
about
tried
Mike
to
King and
I said,
how
that
he
guy's
was
so old.
Hey, that's the guy we all tried to wreck. Just couldn't catch him.
I could never catch him. He's freaking running 46-16, just pulling me,
Dude.
pull.
What are you doing, bro?
Man, it's past my bedtime. That's what I'm doing.
You're on JV time. You're
Yeah,
on JV
yeah,
time.
exactly. That's what I tell these guys all the time. It's late over here.
King, what's
Yeah.
up, bro?
Mr. Mike King.
Mikey.
Cheers, boys. Good to
Oh,
see you.
oh.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Sunday
Well, yeah,
fun
so
day.
Mikey was always a little bit older than us, Mike, when it comes to amateurs, because he's like 6 months up. So I had to deal with Mikey the first half of the year, and like I always wanted to wish him a happy birthday, and then I had EC the other half. So it I think it was like the grands. I would always turn right at the grands, and I'd
you
get
always
back
aged
to
up,
Mikey.
man. We would laugh. Dude, me and Pav would laugh.
Yeah.
We'd age up every time.
I hated it. I always do good at like the fall nationals and be like, get my confidence going, and then go to the grands and just get worked. It's like getting your big brothers coming home from college and just getting your ass kicked.
Mikey, can you tell us a Cully story?
Oh, yeah, we got a couple. Remember when we went to Paris, Cully?
Oh yeah, Percy.
Yeah, that was a good trip. I think I was still in high school because I was sporting like a Letterman jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good trip. We got a helicopter ride through Paris.
Boat ride.
But yeah, we did a boat ride. I mean, we were full tourist mode, and we were 17, 18 years old. But there was this one time, and I knew obviously the first day or two we were kind of sideways. We were jet lagged, and I think I can't remember if we did this while you were passed out in the hotel room, but or if it was on the plane.
On the plane where you guys rode on me. AIDS victim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rode on my forehead. AIDS victim, and I walked through the airport with it.
That's awesome.
Man.
Don't worry, it hasn't scarred me for life.
Oh,
That was a good.
I just
It's like that
God.
Allstate commercial where the coach writes the mustaches on. I saw that and I get like, oh, those guys.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Billy got flashbacks.
And it was
Just
a
so-
permanent marker, by the way.
just so we're clear, I was a witness, and I can't confirm or deny who actually did it. I actually can't remember, but God, I about pissed myself when you were walking around.
Yeah. And Mike, I walked through the entire airport.
I know I had to leave because I had to go to another. I think I went somewhere because I was laughing so hard. And then
I
I
couldn't
obviously
figure
felt
out.
bad too.
And then I'm walking by and I see myself in the mirror, and then I'm in the bathroom, and then I'm trying to scrub this thing off, and permanent marker. I go to get my bags, and my forehead is completely just stripped of one layer of skin from me scrubbing this thing off with whatever. But yeah. And then Mike, remember the first day when I got the flat tire we were street riding, and I got a flat tire, and I got chased by these homeless people that wanted to steal my bike, and everybody had left me, and I show up at the hotel. I was pissed. Woo! Oh, that was a rough trip.
We were young and dumb. It was all good.
Oh my god.
Where's
Hell of a
Cully?
trip.
Where's Cully? I don't know.
Just left him. Just left him.
Like, back to like our kids can't leave the house without a phone. Here we were in another country, and everybody left, and it's like 45 minutes later, and they're like, huh, okay. I mean, we're old enough to drink, so we're probably just sitting down there. I walked in and was just hanging out at the lobby bar, just sitting down there.
You gotta get thrown in the deep end, man.
Yep. Good stuff.
Mikey, thanks for coming on, man. I know it's late for you. I really appreciate you coming on. That was
Hi,
awesome. It's a
Mikey.
great story.
Yeah,
Dude.
good seeing you, Cully.
Good see-
DC, James.
Hey, Mike. Good seeing you, man.
All right, man. You guys have a great
See you,
night.
Michael.
Talk
Don't
to
rush
you
them
later,
too
buddy.
bad.
Good
All right.
seeing you, buddy. Dude.
Look,
Yeah,
EC, there's
Yeah.
another guy you don't. I'm gonna cut this part out. Hey, EC, look, there's another guy you don't call back.
Seems like a pattern.
Like I said, we're all on here just so we can talk to Eric. Sorry.
I don't think Mikey's ever called me, dude.
No.
No.
Well, you can't say the same about me.
I'm gonna look through my call log and see, dude. Honestly.
I can screenshot it. I've even ridden at the trails behind your house and like called you, like, I want to come and see my friend.
Dude,
Just
that's
Cully's like that fat ugly girl. Hey, how can you never call me?
I know.
No, I don't.
Come on, don't be like that.
Dude,
No,
how about King? How about Hollywood throwing a curveball? See him? Dude,
Well,
I saw
listen.
him pop up and I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, you know how that goes.
But I mean, again, it's just when you hear stories like that of the cool adventures that we got to do, I scratch my head of how I can share that with my kids now, and like the lives that we got to live. And I really hope that we can get some sort of sovereigns to where people can coexist and get out and do those things to where we're not so pent up and so tied up. Like, just relax and go have fun. You know,
I
Well,
was telling that with my daughter today.
Oh my
Get on your
gosh.
Yeah.
Put your phone down. Go ride your bike.
yeah.
Look at this guy.
Come on now. Yeah.
How come Glenn looks 10 years younger than me?
It's amazing.
Are you older than me?
Yeah, buddy.
you know why? Because
When's your
he's not an
birthday?
AIDS. He's not an AIDS victim.
That's right.
Yeah. You just gotta
Dude.
take the AIDS medication.
So I saw my son Jack today. I'm saying, hey, we're gonna talk to Cully and tell stories tonight. He's like, dude, you got to tell the AIDS victim story.
You want to know what's funny?
So,
Mikey was just on before you and he told it.
He told it.
so now I know. So now I know who had the pen.
I
It's
will
like
never.
it's like-
hey, I don't want EC to be the only alcoholic on the show.
I'm not even.
Me and Eric are on LaCroix.
Dude,
Love it.
I know he poured beer into that LaCroix can just so his mom doesn't text me in the
Oh,
morning
boy.
again.
Exactly.
Look at that one though.
I know. Mama,
The official drink of Finland.
Mama
Oh,
C gets
fantastic.
mad. Mama C gets mad. You got to be careful. Those people are going to think you're an alcoholic.
Oh,
So now she reaches out to me on Sundays and she says, "Tell him to stop eating on the. He makes bad parenting. Just make him stop." I go, "Hey, that's part of the show, man."
Dude,
I
I'm
want-
hanging out with my friends. That's what I do when I hang out with my
Yeah.
friends.
dude, I wanted to
You're
bring
only
some
an
food in
alcohol-
so I could eat.
That's right.
You're only an
Dude, I already have-
alcoholic if you admit it.
I had 2 lifesavers and a cookie. Glenn, I already ate my cookie.
Yeah. Hey, so we got to talk a little bit about Glenn, because we haven't really even covered what Dave has done in BMX, but we got to talk a little bit about Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenn Pavlovski, you started racing and then you quit racing
Yeah,
and then you came back like hellfire.
yeah.
Tell us what happened, how that happened a little bit. And then we'll get back to Dave.
Well, I started early. 74 was my first race at Western Sportsorama
Wow.
Whoa.
on a 16-inch swing Stingray that we still have. My brother has restored it now, and I swear there's 4 generations have learned to ride on that bike.
Wow.
So yeah, cool stuff. And then I rode that. My next bike was a R&R that was built there at Western Sportsorama, and if I remember right, it was Rich Long that owned the bike shop.
Correct.
Yeah, it was an R&R with the
I'm listening.
what were those flat forks with the holes in the sides?
G-Boy made them, and so did Matthews.
Yeah, Matthews. That was
He had
it.
the Matthews forks, yeah.
Yeah. So I raced then for shoot, I don't know, till probably like 12, 13, somewhere in there. And I know EC and I raced a bunch in that era
Yeah.
as kids. And then I kind of quit and went up and played, all the stick and ball sports.
Yeah.
And then I got sick of those and sick of the coaches and sick of the politics and just went back to racing bikes. And that's when I came back, it was like 80. I think I was a freshman, so 83.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere
I
in there.
remember obviously you from Irvine when
Yeah.
I spent a little time out in Irvine.
Yeah, Dave was a local.
Yeah, I was
It was-
I was a local off Culver Drive.
That's right.
And Irvine built, as for the people, they had built this, pretty modern facility, a bitchin' BMX track, and it was the place to go in Orange Y and Irvine BMX. And
Yeah.
Glenn was Glenn, I think you're like a month older than me. Aren't you like November?
I'm August.
Or something? August. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit older, so you would turn before the MBO Grands.
Yeah.
And you would be out of my hair for MBO Grands.
Yeah.
And then ABA Grands, I was back in the mix. So
Yeah. And then EC had the perfect BMX
Ah.
birthday.
I was
I know. Oh, look at that. If I could have photoshopped an ID.
You
Yeah.
guys would be, see you guys.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
See you guys later.
I think the whole class left and Eric got to stay behind.
Yeah. He's a year behind.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Luck E.
Lucky.
Well, listen, you three raced. I remember you three raced against each other. I always remember you guys three racing against each other as amateurs
Oh, yeah.
on the Southern California local scene,
Oh,
which was, someone else told me today in a conversation. He said he was talking about how guys would be at Orange Y or the local Orange County scene, and pros could come and race 15-year-old. If a 15-year-old got in the gate with them, the amateurs, you guys would wax them,
Oh,
would
yeah.
just shame them.
Yeah. Well,
especially if you were an out of town pro.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you were an out of
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I meant. If you were an out of town pro,
Oh,
you-
yeah.
get
We
lit
had
up.
it dialed.
I knew you guys all had it in you, and I knew that. I kind of sometimes would look around the gate and make sure you guys weren't in there when I got in for practice.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember one time
I'll
there was
tell you, you didn't want Danny Gibson in the gate with you as
Oh, the
out
Gibber.
of town pro, because he would destroy
Gibber.
you.
Yeah. I don't know if
Lane
you guys
one,
remember.
Orange Y, unbeatable.
Yeah.
End
Gibber.
of story.
Do you guys remember they had a short, it was like a Pro-Am series, right? And Orange had just changed it. And the first turn was like a left, kind of a jump turn, went
Yeah.
up the hill and
Yeah.
left,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So here I am one day and I was inside. Stu Thompson was racing it. I don't know why Stu was racing a local Pro-Am, right? And probably 15, and this was my chance, right? I took him out. I tried to jump inside of him and it didn't work so well.
I don't know if you realize this, Glenn, but Stu Thompson was like 6'3" back then. Like he
know.
didn't get smaller.
But no, yeah.
I guess at that point you're not
I
gonna get
was-
your ass kicked. He's
Yeah.
not
Did
gonna
he say
beat up
anything?
Glory, dude. He just saw glory.
Dude, it was Stuart, and all I remember is Stuart just gave it one of those looks, like looked over at me and just went.
I could see that.
Could
Like
stump
your-
you into the dirt.
It was like your
Yep.
dad looking at you with a look of disappointment, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Well,
You
Yeah, but
probably
we-
never made that move again.
Until
Tab,
took out-
I love your jersey, man. That's fantastic.
Hey, this is Cully's jersey.
Look at that.
I have no idea how
Absolutely.
I have it, but I've got like a box of old uniforms and crap. And I was digging through it today to wear something. I saw this and it's like, I have no idea how I got this. This is Cully's.
Theo Grant. Yeah, baby.
Dude, it's one of those
That's it.
midnights at the Pavlovski house, man.
Oh, dude.
after a Friday at Orange Y.
Midnight
Hey,
rides.
Miranda,
Exactly.
you know what? So here's a funny Pavlovski house story. So again, dude, when I talk about brothers, we would spend, I'm not exaggerating, summertime, we would spend 2 weeks together consecutively.
Yeah.
And we would never leave each other. We
No.
would leave 3 guys in a truck, either my truck or Glenn's truck or the Ranger. And we
Yes.
would only go to each other's house to get more clothes and stuff. Like
Yeah, because
And-
we didn't have any clothes because we didn't
Yeah.
bring clothes.
Yeah, so we would run out of clothes, but we would just go to each other's house and go get clothes and say hi to the parents and then go back to Glenn's house was always kind of the hub, primarily because of pistachios. And Mike, I'm not gonna lie, pistachios were like a delicacy,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Glenn's mom would have a bowl like
That Costco
the-
bowl.
the Costco bowl before, and they were and like all we did was live off pistachios.
Just-
And
Yeah.
and Eric one night decided that he's gonna light farts, and the blue flame, and Glenn is the biggest antagonizer, and instead of Glenn saying don't do it, Glenn's like, oh, let me get a lighter, and he's scrambling around barbecues. So Eric's ready, but Eric hasn't figured out how hairy his taint is. This is like a little baby chipmunk. And so Eric's got pistachio farts, and he's gonna light this thing up. And he lights that thing, and it doesn't go the first time, and the second time, and literally it's a blue flame.
Oh yeah.
And it singed his balls and the whole bottom of him, and it stunk. And Eric jumped up and was running around. And Glenn, I remember the
Oh, yeah.
couch where the kitchen was, and Eric, oh my God. And Mike, we thought we were gonna have to go to the freaking hospital because he just burnt his sack off.
Well, dude, I remember the first thing he did is he got up and he looked like a dog with an itchy ass.
Yeah.
So
He rolled on the carpet. He went on the carpet like
yeah, he's like dragging his ass on the carpet on his way to stand up.
Hey, dude, stop, drop, and roll.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Stop, drop, and roll, boys.
I remember Glenn, he had his sweatpants pulled back and he had his feet in the air and he was squirting on his back. Oh, I remember that. I remember how your parents' living room was. That was so freaking funny.
Dude, that was good shit. But that was Wednesday. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a Wednesday.
that was just
Hey, JV, I got a question for you, JV.
Yeah.
Whose mom do you think I'm going to hear from first?
Well, you
Glenn's or EC's? Someone's mom's. I get it from the moms. What
Yeah,
did you do?
right?
Oh, it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be great.
Oh,
My
EC's
mom's- oh,
mom
that's what
for
that
sure.
stain-
Probably already trying to call you.
yeah. My mom.
Mike-
That's what that stain was from on my carpet.
Yeah. Mike, if there's any bad parenting you had on us, I can tell you there's one crystal clear event in my mind. And it's town cars.
Oh yeah.
And it was
Oh, well,
Phoenix,
say- hey,
Arizona.
Dave.
Hold on.
No,
hold on.
no,
I
Dave,
remember-
Dave. Save that. We do rental car stories at the end, and we save them for our Christmas special. So
Okay.
I absolutely want you to tell it.
Okay, because not only is it the time when you were my hero and you did something that blew my mind, but the events that unfolded later was even
So-
more.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I want you to tell the story at the end.
The good
Okay,
lead
I
up.
want you to tell the story at the end.
No,
Oh,
here's what.
man,
Hey,
that's
I
so
know
good.
that EC and Dave will remember this because this is a Miranda story, right?
Wait, this is
No.
not my podcast.
Oh, you got to hear this one because the three of us are going to love it because this is something you taught us, right? I remember, you'd always park in the same place at Orange Y. You'd come in you'd come in the driveway and you'd park right there up on the right, in the Turbo Courier.
Correct.
Yep.
And you taught us how to do the backfires, right? Start
Yeah.
the car, you rev it up, you turn off the ignition,
You wait.
you wait, and you turn it back on and give it a little gas, and boom, right? So here's me. I don't know. I'm now, I'm on my career path as a firefighter. I'm working on a private ambulance, right? And I'm driving this ambulance down the freeway, and I tell this guy, hey, watch this. We're driving down the 5 freeway in South Orange County. Throw it in neutral. Whoa, turn it off. I gotta wait because Mike taught me how to wait. Boom, right?
Yeah.
Put it back in drive, go to drive. This thing's like, whoa. It banana peeled the fucking exhaust. Yes.
Oh, you gotta wait, but you can't wait too long.
You're right. There's a
You
fine
wait too
line.
long. Boom!
There's a
Out goes the
fine line.
muffler.
Yeah. I don't know if
Oh,
modern
Mike.
cars would do this anymore. That was
Hey,
Ooh,
I
God,
can tell you
I'm
this.
crying, man. Oh.
Mike, we could do a podcast just on rent-a-cars.
Hey, Cully,
Eric and
we
I-
do one
Eric-
every Christmas.
Yeah.
That's our
Okay.
Christmas special.
Okay,
oh yeah.
Eric and I know that we've got some freaking fun. Like that, I've got the best times of my life involved these two guys in a rent-a-car,
Oh my
Yep.
god.
or one of the Dell brothers. Yeah.
Just save it. Save it. We'll do this at the end, Cully. Hey.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Cully,
know, like,
Oh, the Cully stories.
Yeah. Oh, Cully, I have to ask a couple of questions. I know JV has a couple. Well, JV, go ahead. You have some questions that people have, when we put it out there this morning, people went crazy and started asking
Oh, yeah.
questions.
Well, okay. A couple of things, non-question. Frank Klemecki said that he doesn't know if you remember this, but he was late. I guess he overslept, and he was at the Grands, 88 Grands, he remembers. And he's running up to the gate, and he's like, hold the gate, hold the gate. And he says that you, Dave, you actually were the one who told the starter to wait while he can get up to the gate. He doesn't know if you remember that, but he did want to say that.
awesome, not an asshole, sweet.
Yeah. You know what? Dave you know what? Dave had just aged up and he was trying to make friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Slavics. Yeah.
I was in lane 2 and I was telling him to hurry up.
Yeah.
Running.
Drop the gate. Drop the gate.
Yep.
Slavic said that you and him almost ran out of gas in Watts, and you should never run out of gas over there. Do you remember that?
No, absolutely, yes. And I gotta, if Todd Slavic hears this story, I think it was Eric will remember this. It was Todd and Peace Dog, Ron
Pettit.
Ron Pettit,
Uh-huh.
and the other Texas, the Texas Triangle. I remember that those guys drove from Texas to Oklahoma completely naked and stopped and got gas the entire trip. Like, so they decided that they're going to do the trip naked. And I remember those guys I remember seeing a photo of them pumping gas completely naked outside of Oklahoma.
In November.
In November. And they said that like truckers were like honking at them, but they decided to just do the trip naked. So Todd, if you're listening, don't think I forgot about it. Funniest thing I've And again, these pictures, there wasn't like an iPhone picture. This was somebody taking a photo of Todd naked, pumping gas and like going down to the ice cream place and getting it developed and going through the photos. And yeah, it's hilarious.
Thank God they weren't.
How lucky were we to not have iPhones
absolutely.
in the day?
Oh man,
Our life wouldn't have been fun.
that would have changed everything.
Oh man,
My career path would have been significantly different.
Yeah, my background check for the fire service would not have went well.
Oh, I mean, yeah, thank God. Social media would not have been my friend.
No.
All right, I got another. I got a
Okay.
few. I'll throw one more in there. Dr. Rich,
Okay.
Jason Richardson wants you to talk about Oklahoma women, if you can,
Ooh,
Oh, I got a story.
and baking
Yeah.
your rear triangles in the oven for heat treating.
Yeah. Well, Oklahoma, I realized that all those country songs aren't songs; they're real stories. So when you lose your house and you lose your truck and and your dog dies, that shit's real.
You read a
And
story about it.
I married a girl from Oklahoma, and my marriage was like a tornado. In the beginning, there's a lot of hot air sucking and blowing. Next thing I knew, my house was gone. That's a true story.
All
Can I
right.
tell a Cully,
All right.
Oklahoma woman story?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I made my my vet pro return, right? And Cully and I for some reason ABA wanted the vet pros there, so they gave me a room. So me and Cully ended up rooming together there. I think it was the Myriad. Do you remember? Do you remember this one?
The main one at the Grands, right?
Yeah. It was the one that was
think-
attached.
Yeah, that's a Myriad.
So we
Yeah,
go to
Marriott.
check in, and there's this girl working the front desk. Well, she's pretty good looking, right? So Dave starts talking to her. And of course, Dave being the charmer he is, right? Throughout this weekend, Dave's hanging out with this girl. And this is right. What do you check in? Like Wednesday we get there?
Yeah.
So as we go on this weekend, so Wednesday, hey, Thursday, hey, let's hang out, right? Friday. Well, by Saturday, Dave was done, right?
Yeah.
Dave was moving on. So she's calling the room and leaving messages, and Dave's, having none of this, right?
I gotta focus on racing, dude. I'm there. I'm focused.
Yeah.
You're there for that vet pro race, right?
Yeah.
So
Focused.
for this,
I don't even think I was racing.
for the finale of the story, you guys remember something about Mary, and there was that guy Woogie that had the Woogie bumps, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And his face broke out because he was all nervous, right? So here's Dave and I. We're leaving. This is Monday now. We're leaving to go home. We're walking through the airport in Oklahoma City, and you hear this, Dave.
Yeah.
Turn around and look, and this girl had stalked him to the airport. This is back in the day when you could walk.
was
to the gate,
waiting out in front of the airport for all
Waiting
possible
for
flights
him.
going to LA.
Wow.
right? And she stalks him down, and all I remember is I look at him, and it's like, I'll see you on the plane, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, my wingman peeled
Gone.
off like no one's business.
Gone.
Just like, hey, I'm out of ammo.
Gone, buddy.
Oh, and that's and God, remember, this is before TSA where you could get on the other side. No, they go
Nope.
to the gate.
All the way to the gate.
Oh my
And she
God.
chased him to the gate, right?
Yeah,
There was no escaping
I
that
was
one.
like, I was in the Matrix. I was dodging, moving, and just I've never wanted, like, you just want time to go. Let's go. Come on, plane. Thanks. I'm glad I just got that memory back. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we're here for, buddy. We got so many. I mean, it's funny because I was, Mike contacted me about this, and I started thinking about stories, and it's like, well, can we tell that one? No. Can we tell?
Yeah,
I
no,
can't tell that
there's-
one. No.
No.
Yeah, no, I can't tell that one.
Me and EC both are just like, this is PG-13, right?
Yeah. Every time I'm telling you guys right now, as soon as I hear you guys start to tell a story, I'm like, oh shit, man.
That's what's been great about this whole podcast. Right? Every time I hear stories, every time I hear stories on this podcast, I know the ending.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to tell
I'll
you.
tell you right now. Hey,
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you right now. There's two guys that I could never have other than Fog Fest Campfire.
Yeah.
Real deal is
Oh.
EC and Rob Warner. There has never been people with me to the bottom faster.
Well,
And
I'll
those stories are only reserved for Kernville. They cannot be told outside of the Kernville bubble.
Well, let me tell you about this. So I record everything. I don't, I record everything, and then I edit it, right? But I have a file thing called outtakes, and then I have another one called blackmail. Because sometimes when we get rolling, man, especially later on, and everyone's had a couple of drinks, ooh, some of the stories that come out, we're like, man, don't you realize that this could be aired? This could be aired.
Dude,
Hey,
these
can we-
guys.
Can we bring up Kernville came up just now, right?
No.
Let's talk about Cully. No, we're waiting.
Oh,
for
no. Well, that's a mountain bike thing, so we won't bring that up.
Oh, come
Okay.
on, Cully can
I
jump
love
a
the
fire.
Cully mountain bike story, the
Oh.
Cully Kernville campfire story.
That's
Yeah, when I
BMX
jumped
guys,
the
though.
campfire,
Well, you tried to jump the campfire.
Yeah,
almost fell back into it.
you were saved by the
Right.
by the Hispanic guy that you had been making derogatory remarks to the whole night.
Yes, I completely was slanderous like no one's business. Again, these are all things that, like, we would get shut down, or w's the thing, you'd get canceled.
You get
Oh, yeah.
canceled. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
But
these boys will tell you.
I gotta say, and again, when I say I'm jealous of the life that we got to have, I mean, like, mini truck life. I mean,
Oh yeah. Mini
like,
trucks
just-
to Ridgecrest.
and I remember Eric. My favorite thing about Eric's mini truck is that it was his dad's, and he would let the air out of the tires in the back just so he could get it to slide more
Oh, yeah.
around the corners. And
And
one
you can
time
get
he
those
forgot
rims to
put-
spark.
Yeah, and he forgot to put air back in the tires, and Papa Bear got so pissed off because he had 2 flat tires, and he had to, and Eric's dad got up at like midnight to go down to the shipyard and longshoreman, and like he was so mad, and like that was the rule. If we let the air out of tires, we had to put them. And one time we forgot, and that was like one time.
These guys,
he was not.
these guys all had. So these guys all had. Dave had the Chevy Love mini truck.
Oh, that was the Isuzu. It was the Isuzu Pup.
It's a
Yeah,
Isuzu Pup.
the love
Isuzu
machine,
Pup.
dude. It was the love machine.
Oh, that thing was.
The Isuzu Love.
And then,
Again,
and then Pav had a Nissan, and then Jeff Donnell had like a full blown. I think it was a 73
custom, dude. Datsun, yeah.
Yeah, and I had
Hayden had a Mazda.
Yep, and
Yeah,
I had the Ford Ranger with a cab on it. We always would joke that my truck was in the work truck division of the car show.
Oh yeah, Danger Ranger.
Yes, good. I mean, again, it was just the best of times. I live, not to say you live in the past, but just knowing tonight's events. I mean, I was just reminiscing.
All right, how about
so many good memories?
How about the mini truck train to Ridgecrest for that BMXA shoot? Right.
Dude,
And somebody's broke down. Donnell's broke down because his battery issue.
Yeah. On the way there,
Not-
right? So here's one of my favorite, right? We go there and
Tell the whole story now. Why are you going to Ridgecrest?
Yeah.
So David
Okay.
set up a BMXA shoot up in Ridgecrest because he was living up in Ridgecrest at the time. His dad was doing the heavy equipment work at the dump, right?
Yeah.
And Dave had built a track and some just insane jumps, right?
biggest jumps ever, dude.
Dude,
Gnarly.
it was the double dump
Like
jump.
it was X Games, Mike. It was X Games 10 years before the X Games.
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a picture of Billy and I on the double dump jump. It was this downhill blind.
Right.
And it was probably, I don't know, Dave, what, 5-6
Probably-
foot?
Yeah,
on
it was like
on
a
the launch.
30-foot. It was a 30-foot blind downhill gap.
You have absolutely
On a
no
20-inch BMX bike.
idea where you were landing.
Dude, this is
None.
the dumbest shit ever.
My dad built the track with a D8 dozer.
Yeah, it was so,
And
dude.
It was the dumbest shit ever.
Ever.
Dude, I know I can speak for everybody else. We showed up and we were shitting. We make this big road trip, right? It's
Oh,
like Dave. Well, Dave is a Dave, right? Dave jumps
Right.
everything, right? Like,
Yeah, who cares?
he could jump anything. He's the best jumper. And so he builds these jumps, and these are nothing to him, right? And we show up, and we're all like these really fast, badass dudes, dude. And we were all like, "What the fuck is this? I don't want to do that." None of us want to do it.
hey, Mike, I had a corner, like a corner speed jump, and the face of it was like 7 feet, 8 feet tall, and the back was like 40 feet. Like it was, and you had to wheelie it because if you jumped off it, it was like a cliff.
Dude.
And nobody was like, I'm not hitting that thing. Because you had to wheelie it to backside it to hit this other huge jump that I had to make it up the hill.
Yeah,
And
that was,
I had been riding out there, and so I'm like, oh, this seemed pretty normal to me. And everyone's like, no. So there's like 2 photos from that. But it was awesome because all of the friends drove 3.5 hours through the desert to come up to my house, and we built this track at the dump. And it was like a motocross track. It was, I would say, X Games. So when you watch
Absolutely.
X Games BMX,
No,
it was
rails.
that 10 years before.
yeah, it was like the X Games downhill races that Magoo started, and then
Yeah.
it was like that. But Cully's exactly right. The jumps were that big 10 years in advance.
Massive.
Yeah.
Hey, remember back
I mean,
in
he
that
built
time?
it with a giant D8 dozer. There was not, the smallest jump was 4 feet because when you push them, that's the smallest they got.
Hey,
Right.
remember my nickname at the
Jeez.
time was the Fall Guy because I ate
Yeah.
shit all the time, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
it was
not
a
good.
great time.
I remember that one of the other scariest things for me, man, was I was actually driving in Billy Griggs' car. I was
Yep.
in his Toyota and he had that new black Toyota Turbo.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Dude, we were going like I don't know. I think we each had 40s, or we had like a 6-pack. And we were going like, he just opened that thing up on 395 on that 2-lane road. And I think we were going like 125, 130 in that thing. I mean, it was maxed. Music's cranking, and they had been doing construction work with the asphalt. And you remember that thing was on.
Yeah.
And there was a lip that he caught. And dude, the noise that thing, I thought the whole bottom of the car we pulled over. I don't even know if we even told you guys that. We pulled over.
No.
He's looking under the car and shit. I'm like, dude, I thought we were gonna die.
Hey, I gotta tell you, the scariest part of that whole trip, right? So we're up there, and Dave's mom and dad, for whatever, at that night, they weren't home. They were somewhere else, right?
Right.
Mikey, I know you probably remember this, Mike. Dave's mom made the most incredible tamales.
We talked about it already.
It was the first thing we talked about on the podcast.
The venison tamales, right? So his dad got the,
exactly.
Right? So we're up there that night, and we'd gone to a party, a local party that Dave, some friends, and we went there, and we come back, and we ate all these we ate all of these tamales.
All of them.
Well, when Mama
go over well.
When Mama Cullinan came home and noticed that, holy shit. Right?
They were all the care packages for all the people that she made them for.
You were spoken for.
Oh, man.
I thought I did something wrong. I didn't get tamales that year.
Holy shit.
Well, there's why.
Well, I remember too, is Dave's dad, Dick, was a man of few words, but the looks that guy could give you. Right?
You didn't want to disappoint him.
Dude,
I heard he was salt of the earth.
I still remember the first time I met Dave's dad, right? So the house in Torrance, and it was like that tri-level, right? So you had the TV room.
The one with the shooting. The one that had the shooting.
Yes. There was a fucking bullet hole. There was a bullet still in the fucking ceiling.
Somebody got shot in the house Dave grew up in.
But he got it. But my dad got a deal.
Yeah. So we come to Dave's house. I don't know. I'd been to his house before. This is the first time his dad was home. His dad was always working because that's what all our dads did, right? All our dads worked to support us, right?
Or jackassery.
Yeah. So we come in, and I walk downstairs. The first thing is at Dave's house. He had one of the first big screen TVs I'd ever seen.
The one that Eric
EC knows about that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Later on, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
So I walk in, and Dave's dad is sitting there, like a lot of our dads did at the time. He's got the newspaper, right? And he's holding the newspaper up, and Dave walks in and goes, Hey, Dad, this is my friend Glenn. Glenn, this is my dad, Dick. And all I see is this.
He just looks over the paper.
He didn't say a thing.
No.
He just looked over the paper and looked at me, right? It's like,
and Mike, you gotta remember, this is hey, this is the guy I spent my entire summer with.
Yeah.
And that was it. Just looked at him.
Just look. That's it. It said enough. It said enough.
You're on those pussy bikes, dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're on those
we
pussy
were
bikes.
all
pussy bikes, right? Yeah, because in the garage,
I
at that
didn't
house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
tell
garage
us
at
your
that
dad
fucking-
had.
he
my
had those,
garage at the house.
those flat track bikes, and he had a
dyno.
dyno in the fucking garage with those bikes.
My garage growing up was 2 welding tables, an alignment table, and a dyno, CZs and Can-Ams up in the rafters, and my dad would weld expansion pipes and work on suspension. And
his garage was insane.
I did not get an I love you until I got into mountain bikes, because it was at least closer to motocross.
Because we rode pussy bikes.
Pussy bikes.
Pussy bikes.
Hey, Dad, look, I just did this photo shoot for a magazine. I jumped off a 40-foot cliff. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
No reaction.
We all had
Look, Dad, look how cool this photo is. It's completely whipped.
Hey, speaking of pussy bikes, what happened with those? What happened with those rear ends?
Oh, well, I mean, back in the day when it was more of a mountain bike thing, but we would have to get bikes, and my dad would weld them in the garage, and we would have to heat treat them. So my dad bought a pizza oven and would put the aluminum bikes in the garage and cook them overnight.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hey,
Homeschool, baby.
I have a bike. I have a bike question, and the Kuwahara jersey is a great segue to it. On the cover of BMX Action, as you're on the cover in a Kuwahara uniform. Am I right?
I hate to say it, but it's not me.
Oh,
Daryl Young.
I
Correct.
thought it was.
That's
See,
what
I
that's what
thought it
people
was.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Daryl.
all right. Well, there you go.
See, so I was right.
Yeah.
Gotta change that banner.
Somebody told me. So I always thought it was Daryl, and then I like 4 or 5 years ago, somebody told me that it was you. So I
Oh,
just
look at the seat post. Look how high that seat post was.
Coley
Dude,
had a
you
had a
had a high
Kuwahara.
seat post, bro.
I was
Oh, yeah.
teammates with him.
Yeah.
I was teammates with Daryl. So there was a lot of photos where they're mistaken for. Yeah, but the one that he's wearing, Glenn, is the jersey after that had this pink Japanese rising
Oh,
sunburst on it.
Yeah.
But Daryl and I were teammates that same year.
Yeah.
So there's a photo from like the MBO Grands where like I won my class, and they said it was Daryl Young won this race, and except he didn't win the race.
well, so
But he was an
I know
awesome
you.
teammate.
I know you rode for Kuwahara,
Yep.
and I know that you rode. Go ahead.
I did the Kuwahara because of the bicycle source. Mike Buff, his brother, owned the bicycle source.
Steve
And
Potts.
Steve Potts. Yep. And we used to hang out at the shop, and he's like, hey, these guys want to get back, and Howie Cohen, Everything Bikes, wanted to rebuild the team again. And hey, we want to get this thing going. And so I think I was just rode for a local bike shop. So it wasn't like a big deal. So I was like, sure, I would love it. And I got like a custom laser light, and the one that they sent me from Japan was horrible. And Free Agent was kind of, I remember getting a bike made from Yvonne Shute, and we painted it white, and that was the one that we raced. And
That was
awesome.
my question. What bike was? Because I know it wasn't a Kuwahara. What
Free
bike
Agent.
was it?
It's always
Yeah.
a free agent.
Yeah.
and
Or Patterson.
and the one thing that was really cool about Yvonne, and for people who don't know who they are, they're the founders of Free Agent Bikes, and they had a shop in right by Knott's Berry Farm. I remember going and picking up stuff, and
Yeah.
they were just great people, and like needed something custom, give me a day and I'll pick it up from the powder coater. Like it was just a fantastic outside the big bubble.
Yeah.
You
Yvonne-
raced for BC before, though, right? Before
I
Kuwahara?
raced for BC after.
Oh, after. Okay. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
JV BC was always the between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
So
see
I-
the background right there?
Yeah,
I
baby.
see that. I see that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
BC
going to
always
mention
between.
that. Yeah, I was going to mention that. I wanted to make sure we bring this up.
There was
BC was
a-
it, dude.
A lot of great racers, a lot of great BMX racers rode for BC Bicycle Center at one time or another. It was a great transitional team, either transitioning from good to really good or in between teams. Dave would pick people up, and he was just an absolute champ of a guy. Would dial your bikes in or give you a bike
Everything.
if
Best ever.
everything to take care of it,
Best
whatever
ever.
it takes.
He would build the best wheels ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ever.
And when I rode for Bicycle Center, we won the, back then in BMX, they had like national bike shop team,
Mhm.
and we won the national bike shop team. And it was, for him, it was the coolest thing in the world. I mean, I can say that unequivocally, there's two people that made me who I am when racing BMX, my mom and BC Dave. I mean,
Yeah.
and I would say darn near, BC Dave supported me in all the late night shops, and like I had a really good, really magnetic starting gate, and we took it down to Bicycle Center and we did gate starts. I mean, 100 at a time for hours on hours, up a hill to the end. And he would be at the shop, being there till 9:30 at night.
Dude,
with kids.
I can remember. I mean, I know there was There was times we lived in Lakewood. We still had to drive home. I know we were at that shop sometimes getting my bikes down to like 11, 12 at night.
Midnight. Yeah. And like the things that he did for helping me out, but I
Helped us
felt
all
like
out.
I was like the early one, and then after I went to a team, and then Eric would be there or Glenn would be there, and it was again back to the three of us being brothers.
Yeah.
Dave was like the dad, and it like Wheels. Like at that time, I was Free Agent was our bike shop, and I started this stupid trend with campy hubs, and it was all because another guy at the shop was a track cyclist, and he showed me how smooth these campy hubs were. Well, I didn't realize the value of money. This is a guy that drove a van that had a stereo in it, and I found out these campy hubs are cool. Well, next thing I know, I go down to the shop the next couple of days after, and there's brand new chrome rims, red and blue nipples, and campy hubs. I didn't know for probably like a year that those cost $125, which was like a week's salary to him.
Yeah.
And I'd be like a year after that, I'm like, oh, I hear this Shimano Durace is cool. Well, go to the Grands, brand new wheel set Dura. And as you get older, you appreciate like, holy crap, this dude wasn't rich.
No.
He took his paycheck and bought bike parts for the three of us.
Yeah.
So that we had the coolest bike to go to the Grands and win this championship.
Yeah. I still have my in the garage, I'm rebuilding an Elf that I had that BC Dave originally put together and built. And I'm trying to, because BC Dave didn't like sealed bearings on anything, right? You take care of your bearings, and everything on it was loose ball bearings, right? And the cages for your bottom bracket, and you didn't run sealed bearings, right? Dave took care of your stuff, right? You take your bike, Dave would come down to Orange and pick up your bike.
Yeah.
And you would get it back in a bike box ready to go to the national.
Yeah, man. It was gnarly, dude. Man. It was seriously, guys, next level.
It was
beyond.
Wow.
BT Dave was bananas.
I say this. The reason I brought it up, and we'll make sure we give homage to BC Dave.
Oh, BC Dave is the best.
Was the absolute best. Was this. Absolutely. And JV had a similar path. We all the BMX pros, all of us, we all started through a bike shop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know what? And as famous as we all want to say, we got to one time I was factory this or factory that, but we all started as bike shop guys. We all and if it wasn't for that guy who worked late on your bike, if it wasn't for the guy who gave you a discount on your handlebars or what have you, we wouldn't be here, man. It's funny how that guy meant so much to all of us in our lives. Yeah. And here we are today. Here we are today.
He was next level. But
BC Dave was next level.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's everybody says it.
Well, here's one of the things.
The fact that like all of us would get in the car, and I remember being down at the shop at like 2:00 in the morning on a Wednesday, because him and Amy Hernandez's dad were going to just drive straight to Oklahoma.
Yeah, you load that little trailer up.
Yeah, and load the trailer, and you got in the van, and you just drove, and you'd wake up periodically and be like, where are we at? And they were driving. The next thing you know, you're in Tulsa.
Well, so I brought that up because I wanted to say something to all of our friends and our fans and our listeners and watchers. Hey, almost all of us got here. We're all into BMX because of some guy in a bike shop. And so I want to ask all of our friends tomorrow, when on Monday or Tuesday after you watch this, call that guy and say thank you.
Yeah, I wish I could. We
really wish. I saw BC Dave a couple weeks before he passed. I'm glad I got to share that with him.
Same.
But it's important that we all do that. Because it means a lot.
I didn't know. I actually just went into a shop, and that bike shop, Dave, that Greg Tira lived by.
Oh yeah, that is by El Camino College.
There was
Bicycle Discovery.
I think it was.
That's where BC Dave worked last.
Yeah.
No, but it was okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the spot. That was on the same street that Greg Tira lived on.
Yes,
Sepulveda. That was that main drag. Yeah, Sepulveda.
Yeah. Anyways, I just went in there on I think I was selling Marins at the time, And I was just driving by. I just popped in. I didn't know he worked there. I walked into the store and I saw him, and dude, I was like blown away. And I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. And you know how Dave had gotten bitter with the bike racing scene. He was back into just the shop scene, but he wasn't really into the mountain bike scene. Kind of made him bitter, and he just wanted to work in shops. But yeah, like you, Mike, I got to really really talk to him and thank him for it. I was like, dude, you don't know how much you did for us, all of us. I said, dude, you changed people's lives. I can tell. I have to tell you, I had lost my way with racing BMX. I had quit. I was racing motorcycles. I was drinking beer. I was just off the rails. I had lost my way for a little bit, and I've told this story before, but McGrath actually made fun of me how overweight I was, calling me. He's like, dude, you look like you're pregnant.
I remember those days, buddy.
And I went to BC Dave after that trip to Havasu, and I said, hey man, I know you've been trying to get me to race mountain bikes for all those years, and I thought it was stupid. I just want a mountain bike to get in shape. That's all I want. Can I $500, whatever. And he said, come back in a couple of weeks and we'll talk about it. And when I showed up at the shop, he had a slalom bike, a cross-country bike. He had a giant cross-country bike, a giant slalom bike, and a light speed downhill bike, all built, sitting there waiting for me. And he said, all you have to do is say yes and get in the van for the summer, and you're going to go race the Nova circuit. Dude, who does that shit?
Who does that?
Dave.
BC Dave.
And dude, listen, it literally changed my life.
Yeah.
I was on this path. I was on a detour from where I should have been.
Oh yeah, you were.
And he brought me back. He just, dude, like, hey, get back over here. And dude, you can't say thanks enough to a guy like that.
Mike, the thing I'll tell you about BC Dave that has instilled something in all of us was effort. Like, he supported Eric and Glenn and myself because of our effort. And he knew that with love and encouragement, he would make us better people.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the shop never closed because he needed to go home.
Yeah.
The shop closed because we were done doing sprints.
Yeah.
Right.
And he never didn't want to go to a race because he was tired. If he knew we wanted to go and we put in the effort, we're going.
Well, do you guys remember when you roomed with Dave? Dave snored like a freaking grizzly bear.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude. So Dave's thing was
don't hate.
No, but Dave let us go to bed, and we'd go to sleep, and Dave would go to the trailer. He'd do whatever Dave did. I don't know what he did. Probably worked on bikes, knowing Dave.
Yeah.
Right. And he gave us an hour or two.
I waited.
Sleep, and then he would come into the room. I mean, that's the kind of guy Dave was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was. Some of the times he just drove to Oklahoma from Redondo Beach. I'm guaranteed he was tired.
Yeah.
Dave waited for us to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's crazy shit, dude. The guy was gnarly.
I just know, Mike, that he just instilled effort. Like, you never want to let him down. Like, I would lose a race and I would just be destroyed knowing what he put into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like when we won that amateur or the bike shop team trophy, I mean, the look on that guy's face was just worth it. I mean, he was.
Well, that's the thing, right, Dave? Is he with BC Dave? You wanted to do. He inspired you to do well, right? And that was maybe a sign of a good leader. Maybe I don't know if you'd say leader.
And Dave was a man of few words, right?
Yeah.
He was chatty Cathy compared to Cully's dad.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you wanted to do good. You don't always feel this way about your team manager or guys that are around you. But with Dave, you knew how much pride, you knew how happy it would make. If you did good, you knew how happy Dave would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that drove you to do good for him. And I mean, it was, dude, yeah, he's a good guy, man. We
Yeah.
were-
Our bikes, and
Wow.
EC and Dave can attest to this. Our bikes, I mean, if you could look at a factory supercross guy and their bikes, our bikes were to that level.
Yeah.
Oh, we
when-
were factory
when Dave,
Honda.
You were
right?
factory Honda.
and even when you know
Yeah.
Dave was factory Kuwahara, Eric was factory Hutch, I was factory Robinson, or whatever it was at the time, it didn't matter. Dave was our mechanic, and Dave
That's right.
made our bikes
That's right.
perfect.
And like Mike, I
Yeah.
remember I was on GT and was at the shop, and at the time, and Eric will remember this, but like Profile had just come out with titanium spindles, and I was like, oh, and I had learned of titanium because of all the mountain bike stuff at the shop, and I'm learning about some of these cool things, and I was like, oh man, that thing's bitching. But then again, it was like $225. And I was like, phew, my mom said, no way. That was after the fall nationals.
Mama Cullinan never said no.
On that one she did. But after the fall nationals, I go into the shop and I look on the bench, and there's a box, has my name on it. Titanium Profile bottom bracket going into the grants.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and you're just like, oh shit, now I got to win the grants.
Yeah.
Like he knew that you could get more out of you, and he
Yeah.
knew what worked.
Yeah. Here's
Well,
one of
it
my favorite
Yep.
BC Dave stories, right? And this is it's an EC and I story, right? We're at Waterford Oaks. I think it was Cruiser, Maine, right? And everybody that raced Eric knows the last thing you want is Eric behind you,
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly.
right? So we're coming down. You guys remember there was that in Waterford Oaks, that last kind of like lazy left-hand turn that came down the hill, right?
Right.
And EC had set me up, and I knew I'd watched him all day, right? I knew what he was going to do. Eric went outside, and he was coming inside me, and it was not happening, right? So as EC comes in, he comes inside me, and he's past me, and it's not happening, right? So EC's, I think it was his pedal, went into my front wheel and destroyed it. But I didn't let him pass me, and I fucking won that thing, right? So here's the big thing. I wasn't going home, but Eric was. I called Dave, and I said, I need a new front wheel. And he said, sitting home with Eric. So Eric had to take my wheel back home and bring it back to me at the next race.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys, in all, you guys are like, you truly are like brothers.
Yeah.
You are brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you really, I was going to say this, I have it on my notes. You guys are also, in a lot of ways, teammates.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
But
so,
never
And
teammates.
again, an entire career that I've never had, again, being your closest competitors, and you look at today's, and like, there was never a crash, never an incident.
Right.
It was the best thing about our competition is that it was always clean, and you got what you got, and that was it. No excuses.
so I'm going to ask you two questions. Who was the best teammate
Hmm.
amongst you
Best
three?
teammate,
Amongst you three, who was the best teammate?
Eric
Good
to get
one.
in trouble, Glenn to get out of it.
Eric was the
Pavlovski,
instigator.
Glenn was always conservative,
Yeah.
and Eric will take, like, again, like, dude, I remember going to Eric's house and seeing like gang fights and us stabbing at the park, and we would, like, Lakewood was not, like, Eric is the guy that you could go any direction. Glenn's the guy that got you out of
How
trouble.
far do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, you know what's
great-
funny? And it's the
Great
stuff-
question and fantastic answer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's the stuff you don't realize as a kid, right? Because we didn't care. I didn't care who was from where or what or anything. They're just my buddies, right?
Right.
Well, a lot of times when Eric was coming down to Irvine to my house, Eric was just coming down to get away from that, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
were just
so
coming down to
here's
ride, and
Here's
Yeah.
the follow-up question. Now, you also had a bunch of other teammates because of, you were on Kuwahara, you rode Robinson, BC. You were a great rider, Dave. Of everyone else, who was the worst teammate? Who can you tell on?
I'm trying to think of. BMX worst teammate. No one really stands out, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll edit that out.
I'm going through, Mike. I'm going through all. I'm
All
trying
right.
to go
Who-
through all my. Give me
All right.
some hints.
Yeah, no, I'll give you another one. I'll give you another one. Here you go. Hey, Dave. So you three were obviously teammates, brothers, all that. But of all the other teams you were on, and all the other team riders you had, who was the funniest?
Oh, me by a mile.
Absolutely, without
It's a
question.
story. That's the
Absolutely.
easiest question.
Yeah.
I
Dave
talk the
always-
most.
If
and
I
say
was,
the
if
most
if
shit.
we were being ambushed and we were all hiding behind a small wall, and you had to be super quiet, I would say Dave is the worst guy I would want to have with me.
Well, no, you would say no. Send Dave out to negotiate to get us out of here.
No, I'd say no. Dave, you gotta be quiet. Somebody shoot Dave.
Yeah, dude, Dave could not be quiet.
No, can't
No.
be quiet.
He
Hey,
could
you
not
want me to
be
go talk
quiet.
to him? I'll talk to him. We'll
Yeah.
negotiate. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey, look. Hey, I think I know that guy. Do you think you
I'll
want
bring him a
I'll
tamale.
trade him some smokies.
Hey, Dave couldn't hide behind a wall either because he had his hair used
Oh,
to
yeah,
have
was the
Aquanet
haircut.
hair that used to stick straight up.
I had some of that
Absolutely.
too, boys.
Oh, dude,
Oh, yeah.
Eric. Ron
I had a
John
visor.
style.
Dude, I
Eric
think
Oh my
had the
gosh.
best hair.
I think
by
the
mile.
I think the inside of my hats was like lacquered.
Dude,
Yes.
I remember
hair
Eric.
dryer, hairspray. whoosh.
Oh, the Aquanet days, and Eric
a perfect
literally would just
visor.
you would sit there and you'd walk in his room afterwards, and the ozone melted in his room.
Oh,
I mean, like Mike. There's so few. Like, I mean, Eric and I would go to
Crazy.
clubs in Los Angeles, and our parents somehow would let us get in the car with strangers, and we got Z Cavaricci jeans, Eric's hair and his mullet, and we would be at clubs, and we shouldn't have been drinking. We were not, but we would be just shit faced at clubs in Hollywood, and like till 4 a.m.
Dude, I
going
so
and
I
getting breakfast.
I worked with this guy.
How Eric and I never went to jail is an act of God. We broke.
I had this guy there was this guy that that lived in my town, and he had a window tint shop, and he was like much older than us, but he would like kind of creepy. He would go to high school parties and hang out with us at high school parties. And he had this BMW, and he was friends with all these guys in Hollywood. So dude, I worked at his window tint shop, prepping windows and cutting film for him. He would do the installation. I didn't get paid, but I would go to the Hollywood with him, and we would go to the bars and clubs in Hollywood, and he knew the people there, so we would get wristbands. So that's how we got to go in to those clubs and drink in those clubs, because
Yeah. And Greg Tira, I know, was in the mix a few times. But Mike, I mean, again, the fact that the shit that we did back then, it's
You
just
guys
stuff that we
remember-
just don't. We're
Okay,
sure as
Dave,
hell
I-
not going to talk about on video and
Dave and
camera, 'cause
EC.
no.
Dave and EC, you remember this one, Mike? This is gonna be a golf, so it'll be close to your heart. Remember? in
Oh no,
Irvine-
I've got that story. I've got that story teed
Golf
up.
Mike was
Oh,
there.
I don't know. No, this is a different one.
Oh, okay, go. You tell
This
yours.
is-
I'm gonna
this is
tell
an
mine.
Irvine story. So we used to go. It was Rancho San Joaquin Golf Course, and we had this whole thing. We'd go there, and we would steal a bunch of golf balls from the driving range. Right. Well, we had this whole thing. We duct tape the bottom of our sweats, and we'd run around the driving range and fill our sweats with golf balls.
Oh, I like that.
Right. So we do this one up in the other end of Irvine, the higher end of Irvine. It was a hill,
Like
so one
Eagle
night-
Rock, right?
Turtle Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
So this one night we had hundreds and hundreds of golf balls, right? And we had my dad at the time had this big white dually. So we get to the top, and one of my other buddies, Eric, lived at that end of town. So we had him and a couple of his buddies, and these are guys that we just all hung out with, right? And we took all of these golf balls at the top of the hill, and we let them all out on this road. And this is a big downhill 2-lane road, right? And we took off and we drove down. It was probably, I don't know, what do you guys think? 2 miles, a mile?
Yep.
So we drive to the bottom of this thing, and we sit there and we wait. And
Wait
we
for the
wait.
golf balls to come down.
And this wave of golf balls.
Yes. Oh my God. It
Oh.
was absolutely the funniest thing you've ever. And the cars. Oh my God. They had no idea what to do.
Because they're just hitting cars as they're coming
Oh
down.
my gosh, dude! It was
Yes. Oh my God, it's hilarious. Some were rolling, some were
Oh.
hopping, cars were again.
I always tell my boys now, they're 17 and 19, and EC's boys are the same age. I would kill teenage me right now as a parent.
absolutely, absolutely.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey,
I think my kids think they're bad. Like,
Oh, no.
we do stuff. Oh man, you kids have no idea what we used to do.
Mike,
I don't
remember-
tell them. I don't tell them, and I just do my best to keep them from watching these podcasts.
Oh yeah, right. Remember Mike at the Eddie King's golf tournament? I sent you that picture of Dave from that thing.
Yep.
We sat there, and my son Jack, my older son, is like 14, and he sat there in the background and listened to like 2 hours of us just all telling stories. No different than what we're doing right now, right?
Well, I'm going to tell my favorite. This is my. So I have a couple.
Hey, I
things
got
wanna make
I
sure
got another golf ball story.
Yeah. So this is
Eric's
JB.
house
I
in
don't know if I
Lakewood.
ever told you the story,
Oh.
JB.
Hey,
This is so good.
I hosted a
Oh,
BMX
so
golf
good.
tournament on a little 9-hole par executive golf course. So it's mostly par threes, a couple real short par fours, but really it's right up the hill from Orange Y, from the Orange Y. So and it was just great. We're gonna do it after the races one day, and we invited everybody, and we all came up, and most of the guys never played golf.
Yeah.
Dave Cullinan being one of those people. I said, oh, Dave, Cully,
Yeah.
just come on, Cully, you'll be great. You're great at everything, Cully. Just come on, you'll be great. No,
Mike
you
was
need
just,
clubs.
Mike was just
we'll-
massaging.
yeah. Oh, Cully, no,
Massaging him.
listen, I want you to be in my group because you're going to be so good, Cully. Yeah, you can talk when people are swinging. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Come on, it's great. So we get Cully. Now the first hole is about 80 or 90 yards downhill.
Way downhill.
But it's a super downhill, so you could just about shove a ball up your ass, fart, and make it on the green.
Yes.
And the first hole it's like a natural amphitheater where the tee box is. So I go, hey, Cully, we're going to go first. We're going to be in the first group because you're the best, and I love you, and you're going to be great. It's great, and you go first. Cully, it's our first tournament. You go first. And so I'm not sure how to do it. Oh, don't worry, Cully, you're great. You're great. So everybody is in this natural amphitheater. And I go, Cully, I got your ball. I got you. Let me tee it up for you. I teed it up. Cully goes, what do I hit? I go, get the big wood. That's the one you want. Big wood.
Let that thing rip.
Just let her rip, Cully. Just let her rip. And so Cully gets up there. He's just not really sure what he's going to do. But, man, he takes the Paul Bunyan whack at that thing. Whoosh. And I had put a ball made out of talcum powder on the tee. It just went poof, poof. Cully turns around with shock in his face, and he turns to the whole crowd. Did you see that? Did you see what he did? Oh, did you see?
I swung out of my shoes at it, and I really thought I exploded a golf ball. And I thought I was the baddest dude on the planet.
Dude, but everybody but Cully knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious.
So great. So great.
Oh my gosh.
It's one of my favorite Cully stories. So
Mike,
lovely
if that ball would have been real,
it would
How many houses would that take
have hit
out?
Lake Irvine.
if that ball had been real, as hard as he swung,
oh my
it would be
God.
landing just about now. It would have been going around. It would have been in orbit going around the Earth until now. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Golf ball story, Cully.
Oh,
So
dude, the
Eric,
shit.
one time we were at Lakewood, and he had stuck a couple golf balls in his shorts, and we would go street riding at night, and we pull over to this overpass, and there's cars driving underneath it, and Eric pulls a golf ball out, and he goes, "What's this?" and lobs it onto the freeway, and it goes doink, doink, and next thing you know, shoo, off some windshield, and I mean, this thing went flying over, and just all kinds of chaos down below, and we're like hopped on our bikes and just went down the street.
Dude.
Oh my god!
EC and Dave, do you remember it was the same thing when we got those balls, and we went. So my best friend Eric, that I've known him since I was 5, and we're still to this day super tight. But so he lived in Turtle Rock, and it was terraced, right? So the house is up on this hill, and we'd steal golf balls and go in his backyard with a baseball bat. I don't know if you guys remember that, and hit these golf balls and just like, listen.
Yeah.
Like, again, I would kill myself.
Yeah.
I tell you this, Mike, that video that the thing that Glenn's talking about with the golf balls, if there was YouTube back then,
Oh, dude.
we'd be millionaires. The shit that
Or
Or in jail.
Or you'd be in
Just-
jail.
oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
was
or
gonna
in
say.
jail.
Yeah.
It would be both.
just that
We would
prank,
be both.
I remember that, like, I'm laughing my ass off because that was you. The fact that we thought about doing that and actually did it, like, it was like, where were our parents?
That was hilarious.
Back to again, Mike. We did not have. It was the three of us, four of
Yeah.
us, and we just. That's what we did.
Our parents were asleep.
Okay, Cully.
Dude,
Or
we
repair-
never got-
you're-
but here's the thing, man. We never got caught.
No. Well, except for the time you streaked across at Danelle's house.
That was the only time we got caught. Charles, yeah, go now. In front of the cop.
But we didn't. Like, how many times the stuff we did, like, if literally if there was social media, there's no chance we did any of it.
No,
No.
not a chance. No way.
There's no chance we'd ever got hired.
No.
No, I would never have
Thank
passed a background for the fire department ever
No,
if they knew
no,
what we did.
no, absolutely not.
Nope. But I will tell you this, all those things that we did, all those things that you young men did, I should say, all those things
We-
that you guys did. Yeah,
All
you
of-
guys did.
Yeah.
We
Mike,
All of those
Mike,
things that
I
we
just
learned-
want you to know
Let me
you are
rephrase
a
it.
horrible influence on
Right.
us.
I was
right.
gonna say,
Exactly.
Let me rephrase that for you. All of those things that we learned from you, Hollywood.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Because you were like my favorite pro, and to actually get taught, I was like, oh, it can't be wrong if Mike taught me to
No.
throw this thing in reverse.
Oh,
Like,
no.
It
And
can't.
Mike always-
you're allowed to turn your rent-a-car into a rally car at Tom Sawyer State Park.
Yeah. And Mike had
Because
that
Mike
way.
said it was okay.
Yeah, Mike had that way of telling us it was.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just
He's
do it.
so yeah, it's
You can
convincing.
do it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look,
And I'm
Cully, you
like,
can do it. You're the best.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
here,
all of us,
here's
all of
What
us
do you got?
here, all of us here, JV, Eric, Dave, myself, we've all been the influence of Hollywood,
100%.
and we all know
Yeah.
it's anybody out there that's listening that knows anything about Mike knows that influence. Mike just sits back.
He's just a
Yep.
he's just a little he knows how
He's
to
the
have
puppet
fun.
master. He's the puppet master.
I don't know what you guys are talking. I really don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Well, listen, what I wanted to say was all those things that we did that we never got caught for,
Ever.
all those things that we did that sound crazy, and if our kids did them, we'd kill them.
Kill him.
Yes.
All those things we did have made us to the people who we are today. And you guys, and when I look down at you guys, when I look at the screen, I see your faces. I think, man, what a great group of men! What a
Yeah.
fantastic group of guys! To this day, you're fantastic. And I want to make sure I get this out here. Cully, I'm going to ask you to tell a story, and I want to hear the all of it. I want to hear how
Ooh.
down it went and how you got back up, because we almost lost one of the guys on the screen, and it came so close to not having Cully with us that and he came so close to choosing not to be with us, that I want to make sure that we get the opportunity to tell people that it's because of brotherhood and believing that you're worth more than we even believe you are,
Right.
that you're still here. So tell us, Cully, what happened with your heart?
Well, the Reader's Digest version is I had an aortic event, I had an aortic aneurysm at a mountain bike race in Arizona, and it was caused 6 months earlier because of a crash. So I crashed in France and slammed my chest into the face of a jump, and it was the last race of the year. I came home, bikes went away, motocross bike came out. I came to California, picked up my new bike from Pro Circuit. First day at Paris, tore a tendon in my ankle. So I couldn't walk. So this damaged heart sat just dormant. And then training camp started, and then we went to Arizona for the first spring, wasn't like an informal race, and it popped, and that led me to having surgeries where they replaced the valve with titanium, and my racing career was over. Back to the Oklahoma relationship, that house went away. I went from world champion to living in my mom's basement within 6 months. My dad had passed away. Life was shit, and there was no way out. And slowly but surely, I realized, okay, I cannot go out like this. I mean, I was down to 100 and probably 75 pounds. And I had gone to tried, looked at numerous ways to not wake up the next morning. And finally, I looked at myself in the mirror and just am like, I can't do this. I can't go out like a loser. So I started reading books about what was wrong with my heart, and found out that what I had and what they said was, I didn't agree with it. And I found Dr. Doty in Utah that would listen to me. And at the time, my doctor was the head of USC, and he's saying, no, you have this condition called Marfan syndrome, and you have cystic medial necrosis. And I didn't agree. And I found a doctor that would listen to me, and we found out, and it's ironic because I was just telling the story to, a friend, my friend, and we're talking because of the issue that happened with the football player, the cardiac event. And I said, the one thing I remember is once they repaired my heart was my contract with Diamondback was maybe 15 pages long, but the release from the lawyers was 30, because I had to be signed off by 2 different doctors and a psychiatrist so that I could go back to doing what I loved. And knowing that it was screwed up and it was ever going to be as good, I'm like, I'll take a heart that doesn't work as good to do what I love to do. And I tell my kids all the time, second chances. I mean, you gotta never, ever let the failure in your life be because of your effort, because I was a different person before and after.
Well, BC Dave recognized it in all 3 of you. And I'm really glad that you have that instilled in you, because it's because of your effort you're still here with us today.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And all of us are grateful for it, Dave. We love you, kid.
I love you guys, and I look forward to somehow you guys firing up that mountain bike event you guys had, because that was truly the event to attend.
Yeah.
Well,
somehow we got
Dirty
to make
Knobs
that
is
happen.
taking
well,
over.
listen, we've got a new event that you're going to attend.
Oh yeah.
April
Okay.
28th through the 30th is going to be the
Dirty
Fest. We're
Okay.
gonna have a vintage BMX race in Temecula, and a lot of shindigs are gonna go on. We're gonna duct tape our sweatpants, and we're gonna fill our pants with balls.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be
And
great.
throw them at
man.
everybody.
Hey, Cully's gonna
Yes.
jump a fire.
No, you just let him go down the nice busiest street in, nice steep hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All
Cully,
right.
we'll get a campfire for you to jump.
Yeah. Cully's got jump campfires.
But first we have to get stumps set beside that he can throw into the fire.
And just keep making bigger and bigger. Yeah.
Dude.
God, Cully.
Hey, if there's wood still there, it's got to go in the fire.
Cully
Yeah.
was just grabbing stumps.
Anything, JV, anything you can find, lawn chairs, just any.
Didn't matter.
Kept chucking stuff in the fire.
Hey,
And
all
what-
I know is I woke up. I remember waking up the first day of that in Bartlett's van,
Yeah.
and I was wet, and I had the gnarliest headache. And I stumbled out of the van, and there's EC walking around with his coffee cup going, "Hey, Cully." And there was zero chance I was getting on my bike, and Eric was not letting me out of it.
Oh yeah, no.
I wanted nothing to do with
No,
riding my bike.
You got to make the bell, baby. You
Gotta
got to
make
make
the
the bell.
bell, bro.
You got to
and
make the
again,
bell.
Eric is the little devil. Like, come on, Cully. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Come on, bro. Come on. Here's some water. Here's some coffee. Come on.
Oh man.
Got you there,
You
dude.
gotta go. I
Right.
got you.
Well, listen, we got you. We got you, man. We love you.
I'm glad that we got to have
Absolutely.
a conversation.
Cully,
Hey, can
go ahead. Go ahead, Glenn.
I was gonna mention one thing, right? And I think it's super important. The three of us, right, is this family thing, right?
Mm.
And I think it's families were all of our families, right? Our moms were all of our moms. We called, it was Mama C, Mama P, and Mama Cullinan, right? And Mike knows how it is. It's like they were all our moms and dads, and it's the same thing I had with my kids, right? Those parents all had whooping rights.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
If we stepped out of the
true.
line, and we traveled a lot together, we went all over the place with each other. And if you stepped out of line, like Mama Cullinan, I swear she had like a chancla. She had a little bit of Mexican in her, right?
She did.
American
She would-
Indian, bro.
Yeah, like she would
She's a
whoop your
wagon
ass.
burner.
Yeah, it's true. What Glenn is saying is actually true. Like we all had 3 sets of parents.
Yeah.
So and 3 houses.
And all awesome parents.
And it was, and we'd show up at, if Eric woke up at my house and in the morning, it was like, it wasn't weird if Eric, was at my house, or Dave was at my house, or, it wasn't weird at all. We just, and like they were saying earlier, is we would disappear with each other for weeks.
A week. Like
as
Mike,
much
we'd be
as-
gone for a week, and like my mom would start calling around, like, "Where's Dave? Oh, I think they're at Eric's house." They call over there. No, not here. Oh, it's called Glenn's. You just called one of the houses, and you
We
eventually
just
get us.
migrated around, man.
It was the rotation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like
listen,
ducks.
Dave, I am stoked that you rotated into this podcast because I knew you 3 boys were family, and
Oh yeah.
and just like us 3, JV, EC, and I are family. It's just a big family of BMX brothers and sisters, and I'm so glad that all you guys are here for the Dirty Knobs, and we'll see you all at Dirty Fest.
Yeah, but
Okay, I will for sure be there.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks, guys.
All
guys.
right, fellas. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yep.
And
Okay,
Eric-
now don't go anywhere.
Eric, can
Don't go
Eric
anywhere.
work on
Yeah,
the-
don't go anywhere.
No.
Dave's got to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got.
don't go anywhere.
We always do this after. Like we do the podcast, we do the ending, and then all the real crazy shit comes out.
No,
Now we gotta
no,
talk.
and Not,
Hey.
not when there's a camera on. I'm not.
I got-
No,
I'm-
I got to pee.
Hey, Glenn's taking a page out of my book.
No, I think he's going to get a shoehorn to try to get that jersey
I
off.
was just gonna say that
Yeah.
jersey, squeezing it. You
Yeah.
gotta go.
It's like EC's kidney belt. Just
Yeah.
hold it all in.
Holy moly,
So
dude.
so Dave, I
So
got
what's the date? April what was it
28th
again?
through the 30th. 28th through the 30th
Okay.
of
okay.
April. Last weekend of April at Vale Lake.
Ooh.
And
Eric, aren't you working out there? Aren't you building some
you
super
know,
fortress
Cully,
out
if
there?
you would just return his calls, you would know all this.
Yeah.
I know. Hold on, let me check.
That would be-
No, sorry.
yeah,
I just
you would.
I was making
You would
Dude, I
answer
called
my calls,
AT&T
bro.
and like just to make sure if his like is this thing still connected?
You
Yeah.
would answer my. You would answer
Well,
my
it's probably
calls.
broken because he doesn't have a case
Hold
on it
on.
because Cully doesn't give out cases to anybody.
Exactly.
Hold on, let me
Listen,
go. I'm
dude,
gonna
look
just
look
out of
at this.
curiosity.
Look at
Look, Cully, look at the screen.
Correct. It's I don't even know what phone he has.
It's a
PC.
Samsung flip
hey,
phone.
You're gonna, Cully, Cully,
It's a Nokia
Yes, sir.
you're gonna love this though. Watch. Look at this. You see
auto
that?
box.
Look at this. Watch.
Correct.
Oh, perfect. Well, here's
like a-
mine.
Hey,
It's like a
form,
rock hit it.
yeah.
Yeah.
rock form, and it is perfect.
Rock form.
Like Miranda's perfect.
Perfect.
Here's
All
my
right. So
take.
listen,
Well-
Cully.
Yep. I'm listening. Sorry, I was trying to look for a text message from Eric Carter, but for some reason I haven't had a text message in the last couple of years. My phone clears out the text. Hey, are you
Hey,
home? Hey, can
Cully,
you call
I was
me?
going to mention
Hey,
that.
my life's falling apart. Can you call
I'm
me?
surprised.
I need to
I'm
talk
surprised.
to you, bro. Huh.
Dude, I'm surprised to see EC has a phone because, like you, I've never seen a return text.
No, I didn't.
And then if you call him, here's what you get. If you call him, I'm sorry, the subscriber's voicemail box is full.
It's full. Yes. Yep. Yeah. It's
Hollywood, can you believe this?
I can't believe these guys
No.
are saying this to you, man.
No.
I
You know what? You know what you need? You need EC. You need someone to remind you.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
See, I'm lucky. I live close enough to EC. I can just ride over to his house and knock on his door if I need him.
Oh God.
So Coley, I'm working out at Bell Lake building trails, bike park stuff.
That's what I heard.
Yep. Yeah.
I would like to say I'll be coming out there soon, but I haven't been able to ride much very.
Well, Dirty
It's been
Fest
like
you will.
twice.
Well,
I gotta get to where I can bend my knee so more than I can.
what's going on with your knees, bro?
I jacked it up last year and I had knee surgery in July, and the damage was way worse than they thought. And
Hey, Evil
I still can't.
Evil
Yeah.
Cannoli.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many surgeries
just-
have you had to this point?
No, I mean,
Frank and Cully.
Gotta stop
Frank
talking
and Cully.
shit, bro.
Holy shit.
it's like the one time when I actually have listened to my doctors, and it's like it's just not. I can't. I tried riding today, and it's like 45 minutes, and it's all I can't. It's so I may have to do like a partial knee replacement, which sucks.
Well, I
Sorry,
heard
got a
that's
quick-
pretty good
Man.
though, right?
Hmm?
I heard that. I mean, MC got one of those. Todd Lyons just got one of those. I heard they turn out pretty good.
Yeah, it's just that I went like a year to get to it to find out that you have to. I'm like, shit, I should have opted for that last year.
Yeah, he burned. Yeah, he burned a year.
Yeah, so I'm like, damn it. You know,
Yeah.
and like, you know,
Yeah.
with the same thing with the wrist. It's like my wrists are fused. I'm like, okay, well, at least I got on with living. But
Hey, Cully, how's your mobility, your range of motion on your wrists?
Oh, it's
Zero.
horrible.
both.
What do you mean zero?
That's it. That's all.
Put
they
one
do.
out. Put one out like this. Let me see. Put one out. Let me
Okay.
up.
That's it.
Mm.
Up and down.
What?
Up and down. Up and down.
Let me
up,
see the
down,
other one. Oh, you got a little bit on that one. What about the other one? Hold it up again. Let me see. No, hold it up
Up,
again.
down.
The other one. What
Up,
about side
down.
to side?
That's it.
That's
all
all
I
you
got.
got?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a good thing you ride those
But,
pussy bikes.
Hey, Eric, one thing
Yeah.
I was thinking about, didn't you hurt your knee back like later in career or something?
Yeah, I heard it early. I heard it in 90, 89. I blew out my PCL. I still didn't get fixed.
What?
I
and like,
I
didn't you
I
have
married a
back-
girl
so
with
like,
PMS.
like Hyundai days, like Mongoose Hyundai mountain bike. What was her like? Do you have a back issue or a knee? I thought you had
Yeah, I had
something was
I got,
bothering you.
Oh,
yeah,
his
I got a
ovaries.
I got a bum wheel. I mean, my knee would
It
flare
was
up.
your knee.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
I
hey,
never
hey,
realized
Doogie
how
Howser.
important.
Doogie Howser.
Hey, I never realized how important. I never realized how important a
Cartilage.
knee is for turning.
You guys have derailed us into the AARP of medical
Yes.
items.
Hey, let's go back to Mike's whole
Here's
check out
my question.
Cully's range
Hey,
of
hold on.
motion.
Yeah.
Mike, remember I sent you this?
Yes.
Right.
See
Let
that,
me
Cully?
see,
Yeah.
I can't
Col-
see it. Move it. Oh yeah.
That was that whole thing right there.
Hold on.
Right?
Hold
If
on.
you remember,
I got to try to figure. I
That
got
was
it.
later.
Hey,
Oh,
text.
that was-
Text. Did you text it to
that
me? Dan?
wasn't
You
I
the
did.
texted it
golf
to you.
ball
You should
one.
have
Yeah, I
it
got it. I got it. I'm going
The
to play it.
golf
I'm going to
ball
play it on.
was-
I'm going to put it on.
because that was exactly what you were saying at that
Yep.
time, but you were sitting like this
Yep.
and you were drawing, and that's the picture you came out with. And every time
Hey.
you do this on the podcast, I laugh my ass off because I
When do
know
we
I
get
had
to
that
tell-
picture.
Hey, when do we get to tell rent-a-car stories?
As soon as I
Oh.
can get you to stop talking about all your broken bones.
You're the one that asked.
Let's go.
Eat some
my God.
calcium and get over it. Hey guys, absolutely love having you guys on. It's great. It's good to spend time with good people, and that's what this was all about.
So good.
We'll see you in April.
I can't wait for
Yeah.
Dirty Fest.
Great seeing you guys. Thanks for
Have a
coming
nice-
on.
Hey, JV, can't wait to see you on the West Coast here, buddy.
Yeah, for sure.
A week from Tuesday. A week from Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be
Okay,
there.
boys.
You coming out?
Hey,
I'm gonna go check out the track.
Oh yeah, let's hook it up. Let me know what day I'll come out if I'm not working.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
okay,
yeah.
kiddos.
Bring,
Everybody have
bring,
a good night.
hey, I'll rent a car and meet you over there.
Okay.
Car, buddy.
Hey, Dirty Knobs, we're asking you, our friends, to make a donation on behalf of John Cruz to the Davis Finney Foundation, and that can be done at davisfinneyfoundation.org. That's DAVISPHINNEY foundation.org. Listen, your gift makes a difference, and together we're helping people live better and building healthier Parkinson's communities. So Listen, on behalf of John Cruz and the three of us here at the Dirty Knobs, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that one, you bunch of dirty knobs. I'm going to send a box out to somebody who subscribes. So please do that. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Comment if you have anything to say. We'd love to hear it. And we will be back out here in 2 weeks with another one. And thanks to our sponsors. Speaking of which, we are going to read some commercials to you now. Thanks for showing our sponsors the love because they're showing it to us. Thanks again, and we'll catch up to you soon. And then sing it out right now.
All right, coming live and direct from the Colt Clubhouse in Santa Ana, California. Come on down and get all your BMX needs. We're giving away free air for your tires. That's all I got, brother.
That's great. That's great. All right. Now.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
Kinda, designed for your journey. On the road, on the trail, or on the racetrack, you can count on Kinda quality. Our tires are engineered for performance and value across a wide range of interest and applications. See why Kinda is the right choice. It's your move.
Imagine how bikes can lead to a healthier, more connected world. Bikes set us apart, free to explore and move and experience our relationships with people and places like nothing else can. At Ceres, we don't just imagine a more bikeable world, we're all in, making it happen.
SR Sun Tour shares your passion of cycling. We are committed to giving you the highest level of service in the industry, along with products that hopefully will exceed your expectations. Serving riders is the cornerstone of our business, and we pride ourselves in doing it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Velocity Bike Park is the premier bike park for riders in Southern California, with 25 miles of world-class trails, obstacles, flow track, and races for mountain biking, gravel, and BMX.
Ultramax BMX pedal extenders. If you got 180 cranks and 165 legs, just like the Thunder Midget, hey, we got the product for you.
Not available where picture frames and ceiling fans are sold, but you can get an Ultramax t-shirt at dirtyknobs.com.
Bam. That's
There
what I'm
we
talking
go.
about.
That's my guy right there.
I can't even read. Jesus Christ.
Woo!
Hit the button.
Hi everybody, Toby Henderson, founder of Box, co-founder of American BMX Companies, the owner of Race Inc., Botima, and Cook Brothers Racing. We brought these two companies together to bring you the best quality product you can get for a BMX bike. We're all about the rider, so please check out our Level Up and Rider First programs. See you at the track.
ODI Grips, the world leader in grip technology, home of the lock-on grip system. Check them out over at www.odigrips.com.
4416 Designs commercial. Take one.
There you go. All right, 4416 Designs. We make shirts, but we don't sell them. We're just giving back to the sport. If you're out at Ukaipa BMX and you need a shirt, hit me up. I'll hook you up with one.
Yeah, I love that.
Mega Design Group is a full-service marketing firm. They handle everything from logos to advertising to packaging. Having over 25 years experience in the print and marketing fields, they can handle any hurdle. Check it out at megadesigngroup.com.
Carbone Cartel, for the finest carbon BMX racing products in the market. Make sure you check us out at carbonecartelbmx.com. Our products are ridden by the best in the sport. Drew Polk, Nick Long, and many, many more. This isn't the cheap shit you get from Ali Bobbitt. Make sure you check us out again at carbonecartelbmx.com.
Cool Stop Brake Pads. High performance bicycle brake pads since 1977. Check them out at coolstop.com. That's KOOLSTOP.com.
Supercross BMX. What can we say? Our lives revolve around BMX. Founded in 1989 to build the ultimate BMX race frame, they've never strayed from that vision. Hey, for more details, check it out at supercrossbmx.com.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Wilson with Progate. We are the official gate supplier for UCI and the Olympics. We even make a gate that you can practice on in your driveway at home.
Wait a minute. Who else are you making a gate for?
We're making a gate for Dirty Fest. You guys got to come and check it out. Whatever Dirty Fest needs for this track, we're going to supply it. We're not some French knockoff, you know. We're the gold standard in BMX gates. And make sure to check us out at progate.net and bmxtracksupply.com, and we'll see you at Dirty Fest for sure. Take care, everybody.
Amy grips, still made here in the USA. Used by world champions like me, Tommy Brackens. If you want to know more about the best grips on earth, go to amy.com.
If you have a Senna cycling helmet, you know what it's like to ride connected. Senna got their start in communications for the motorcycling industry, where they're now a leader. Senna brought their same tech that goes into those helmet-to-helmet motorcycle communication systems into cycling helmets. Senna bike helmets have an integrated microphone and 2 speakers hidden right into the shell. Senna helmets connect together on a mesh or Bluetooth network so you can talk to your friends while you ride without shouting over wind noise, even if you're not side by side. That's super cool, especially in the trails. Senna helmets also pair with smartphones so you can listen to your playlist without blocking out ambient noise, and you can take phone calls and even hear turn-by-turn GPS directions.
Ready?
And that's going in.
Yeah. We need a doing.
What's your nickname for like on the mic? Do you have a?
No.
You don't have?
I don't really have a nickname. It's just Mike on the mic.
Pain in my ass.
She got one.
That's getting edited.
Yeah.
We're putting that in.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller, author of Day One by Michael Miller. And a special offer going out. Anybody who buys the book between now and Dirty Fest, which is April 28th through 30th, I'm going to take all the money from the book and send it to the Davis Finney Foundation for those with Parkinson's. So get your copy on Amazon.com and we'll make a donation.
Hey, what was the name of that book again?
Day One by Michael Miller, which is me.
I'm sorry. Hey, what was that name again?
Day One by Michael Miller.
Hey, support the podcasts that support us, our friends. The fine folks over there at All Things BMX, which is our favorite Wednesday night live podcast, as you know. Our buddies over there at Beer Budget BMX, Big Bike BMX, and BMX Weekly. Check them out. Check them out. Our friends.
What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and I've got a podcast with my best friend, 80s BMX Craig.
Yep. And guess what, you guys? If you have enjoyed your time here on the Dirty Knobs podcast, we'd love for you guys to come over and hang out with us at Big Bike BMX, where we've got all your old school legends and BMX from the past and today at Big Bike BMX. Isaac,
come check us out. We'd love the opportunity to win you over. And if not, hey, it's just another place to talk about BMX with your grimy friends. It's fun.
Hey, Dale Holmes, I want to tell you something. One of my favorite podcasts that I never miss is BMX Weekly. Even though it has an accent, I still love it.
Cheers, Mike. You can get all the podcasts on bmxweekly.com. Old school, mid school, today's school. Check it out.
Yeah, BMX Weekly.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Beer Budget BMX, baby. Coming at you live from the Beer Budget studios over here at the Hack Shack Quarantine. Oh, man, we're coming in hotter than Satan's nutsack. Yeah, we are dirtier than an Alabama strip club where reclass pros go and get lap dances by their half sister. Yeah, the only show that'll make you second guess your life choices like a Amish on an e-bike.
Hey, if you guys enjoy what you just listened to, make sure you tune in every Wednesday night to the All Things BMX show, the only live streaming podcast show in the game right now. Even ask Mike. He's been on. Vicente's been on. Still waiting for that other guy to come on the show. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can also find us at allthingsbmxshow.com.
Keep it dirty.
East, I'm supposed to ask you a question from your mom. So your mom reached out to me to ask you a question.
Because she texted him.
Oh God.
Kill me, dude.
It's not me. That's not me.
Dude, what do we got?
Listen to him. What do we got? Let's see. What did she say? She said, it starts off with, dude, she just was blowing me up.
My God.
I went back too far. It's her being upset about you eating on the show. Hold on.
I remember Cully telling me a story. Cully, who was it? Duff, whose house you would go to, and his wife was a centerfold or whatever.
Yep.
I remember Cully telling me.
Is that the beard?
Huh?
No, that's not the beard.
No,
I remember Cully telling me the story about being at his house. She was making him dinner or lunch or whatever it was, and Cully says he goes in the bathroom to take a shit and opens his magazine, and there she is, butt naked in the centerfold.
Yeah. Weirdest thing ever. And you're like, I'm like, wow, this is weird. And like, you get done, you close it up, you go out there and hey, some chicken.
Hey, you didn't put that thing away and just go back.
He had lots of range of motion.
Yeah,
lots of range of motion back then.
All about that range of motion.
Your wrists were a lot better back then.
I had one good one.
All you need.
This is Brian Wilson with Progate. Hey, if you like to jump the gate, jump ladies at the track, jump mud holes, or jump in someone's ass, we got the gate for you. UCI to home practice tracks. We got all the gates you could ever want. You might be amateur gate now, but if you want to be pro gate, sign up right here at progate.com.